Okay, and we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Easily Rigs. This is your boy M3 with Be Easy.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. You know what it is? Another installment of Easily Rigged. Be Easy, that dude. Shout out to Big Rig Slaps. He may or may not be in attendance. He had some prior engagements and family affairs, but we are joined by the mayor himself, M3.
What it do? What it do, everyone? All right, let's go ahead and cue in the intro right about now. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, see, I'm messing up. I'm seeing something else too. Easy Rigs Intro Deluxe. Is that something new? Be Easy.
What was that?
I see like another intro. It says like Easy Rigs Intro Deluxe.
Yeah, I didn't know that one was still in there. Yeah, you can
Oh,
go ahead and run that one. That one is the shorter one. You can run the original one that you was gonna run. You know, the one that you edited and added your flavor to. Run that one, and we'll run the deluxe one
all right, yeah, yeah. Okay, we'll
for
we'll do
sure.
that then. All right, let's do this.
They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's Palo Alto Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. Bill Clinton going dumb. All out the scraper. Stunner boys here. Mission is the major. Watch your girl before I take her, cause I'm on the strip shining. We don't move like no clown. But boy, it's big time. And lead a block to my youngster, cause boy, it's big grinding. 20-inch rims, freaks on film. She eat her, why she eat him? You already know who game tougher than leather. We throw parties that go dumber than ever. Young niggas wildin' out, shaking they dreads. Boy, is you biz or is you smack? Cause you all out the window with a face of a triple stack. I'm money hungry, plus I need all mine. Rigs on the beat, you gon' see our shine. Why you think they call us a dummy foe? Cause we stunt and we stunt hanging out the dope. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's Palo Alto Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's Palo Alto Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. Every time I hit the block, spoon drop this stuff time. Candy on them dub things, bumping for one time. I'ma do the fool like I'm mental and ignorant. Jumping at a stop sign while I ain't giving it. Throwing up the block cause you know when I'm feeling it. We ghost ride the whip like we ain't even feeling shit. High feed, call a stunner boy. Till a shoe every whip, now who's stunting boy? At every function, sideshow, neighborhood event. You catch me dipping in the scraper with the 16-inch flip. Reppin' PA, Menlo, Northern Cali finest. If I'm scraping past a dollar, mean the police right behind us. We don't care, we going on big perp and X pills. Stunner boys, they stunting the block on big wheels. Get big skrills, cause they ain't fucking with us. We in the building and we feeling like nigga with us. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's Palo Alto Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's Palo Alto Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up the block. I got a few of my young niggas all out the window. Stunting up the block, niggas know what they info. We feeling smacked, our rims are stacked. Plus we smoking on that perk weed, leaning back. They know we coming up the block, holding the meanest stats. When you stunt like them stunners, you get mean with racks. Candy paints on the model, we mean at that. Bumping nothing less than 15s and holding us at. And we'll teach you how to stunt. All through the bay, we ride candy and blunt. When we come, the show shut down. No field goals, all touchdowns. Police come, we get goes down. High speed and run them through the whole town and get away. I'm not locked like Akon, supercharged kick, running on stop sign. They holler who that is, hanging all out the window. Some thunder boys and they going off the endo. Where they from? DP's Palo Alto Miller Park. They go jump up in them scrapers. See them coming up the
All right. I always love like listening to that intro, man. So all right, man. So we got like we're gonna be chilling like for the night. So hopefully, I know more people will probably show up like later on. No, we had to push the time like a couple of times, so our bad for that. But other than that, we're gonna like just continue to enjoy the evening. Now, There you go, man.
Yeah, we gon'
Nice
we
little
gonna enjoy
crib
the
back there.
yeah, we gonna enjoy the evening. Hopefully y'all come in the building. Whether or not y'all do, we still gonna rock out because the topics that's gonna be discussed is something that we need to definitely tap into. And it
Yeah,
looks like we
definitely.
got the intellectual soapbox in the building. Let's go. Okay. Shout out to Daryl Long. And we gonna need some more of y'all to come in the building. I cammed up, I put on, I whipped out the old school camera, so hopefully y'all come in. But either way, for y'all to catch it on the
Yeah.
playback, we're gonna make sure that this is a very substantive and fruitful discussion. So we can just get right into it.
Hey, we gotta start somewhere though. So
Hello, y'all. What up, Misty? What you doing? How you doing?
salutes to Misty. Misty, if you're new to here, knowledge and relationships, feel free to subscribe. We are on the road to try to get 1,000 subscribers, and then with your help, you can help us get there closer to monetization. So please help us.
And you know what? Before we even get into it, because we got nothing but time and opportunity, this
Mhm.
is what we like to call a shameless plug segment. So I'm going to give a shameless soliloquy when it comes to the knowledge and relationship platform. So close to being monetized, yet so far, right? So close, yet so far. We'll continue to get closer with the help of the loyal followers, supporters, participants of the platform, and we basically all support each other. And Misty, it's me says, I found you at
Thank you, thank you.
Misunderstood. Shout out to
Yes.
Misunderstood, and shout out to Miss. This is what I'm essentially talking about when it comes to building relationships and also building knowledge. You share knowledge with people like, hey, uh,
Yes, sir.
M3, did you know about this stock option? Did you know about this particular business opportunity or endeavor? You share that information. So it's the same thing with platforms. If you find a platform that is of value to you, word of mouth is still the greatest marketing tool, right? Because when you go on Amazon, Alibaba, whatever place, even Walmart, any place that you shop at,
Hmm.
M3, when you bought that camera or when you buy anything, do you look at the reviews or not?
The reviews is the most important thing. Like I don't look at, see, I don't like to buy anything without checking out the reviews first. And but one point there was a time I'll just buy anything, not knowing about the specs, because maybe I heard about the brand, and so I just went with it. But now I'm doing more proper research, and it's funny because I started with one camera, and it was standard. Actually, it was a standard 1080p camera. I think it had HD, but it was 30 frames per second. Then I went on to getting a 1080p camera with 30 well, still I think it was 30 or 60 frames per second. Not really for sure. And then one of my because I do like little deliveries and all that, so transporting children, you know. Um, one of the parents, they gave me an Amazon gift card, so I upgraded that into a 4K camera with 60 frames per second. So right now, this all this that you're seeing right now is 4K 60 frames. Well, of course, the output of StreamYard is going to be 1080p, but either way, I like it. So,
Exactly. I like that. And you touched on so many topics that, see, like I said, this is already some meat and potatoes before we even getting into the show. You touched on so
Marcus,
many topics where we got to do a whole separate stream about people being brand tours. You know what I mean? And like you said, you wasn't doing no research. You hear about a brand that you heard about through word of mouth, right?
mm-hmm.
Sony is good. Magnavox is good. So through word of mouth, you become like a brand whore, like, oh, I'm only going to go for this brand. But when it comes to those brands, let's say it's Sony, Apple, etc., Apple doesn't make all of their products. They
Hmm.
contract other cheap labor to make their products,
Exactly.
and they sell it to you at a premium. So when you look at some of these other companies and say, oh, it's generic or this is knockoff, the same people making the knockoffs are the ones that are making the real stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
they have iPhones and iClones. You really can't tell the difference except for they put certain insignias and inscriptions so that you know. But in terms of how it works, most of them, I'm not going to say all of them, they may not work as good. Some of them work, they're comparable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some are quite better, to just to be frank. But it does involve diligence and research, to look at the specs. I had a homie of mine, when I first got a laptop. He gave me a
Hmm.
laptop. He sold it to me, and I thought, oh damn, he hooked me up. And then when I started learning a little bit more about computers, he kind of pulled a quick lick on me. I paid $400 for a laptop where the specs is like trash. Every phone that I have now is way faster than that laptop that I paid $400 for.
Mm.
So but it comes with the territory. You live and you learn.
Yeah, like the brand doesn't
But
even really matter, but it's just like the quality of what the company can provide. Like, okay, this Logitech. Like I said, this was the first camera that I used ever to do my streaming. And of course, over time, this 5 year old camera, okay, like it's not gonna be the best comparing to like, the cameras that's already out there, you know, or the devices that's already out there. Every year they're always making something new.
it's
And
upgrade.
mhm, mhm. And so the ones that have, they're not name brand. Some don't come from China, but as long as they're good and they function right.
But see, this is a thing. A lot of people have a misconception on what actually name brand is. They say that's
Hmm.
not name brand. Actually, it is name brand. It's just not a name brand that you're familiar with, right? When
That's
you get those
popular, yeah.
things, it doesn't come with a blank camera, right? It has a name on it. So to
Hmm.
be like, oh, it's not name brand, yeah, it is a brand. It may say, from the Chungli Shipping Company. And you like, that ain't name brand? Yeah, it is. It's the Chungli Shipping Company. That's
Yeah.
the name brand, right? If you
Hmm.
start making clothes and it's called the M3 designer line, and they be like, man, this ain't no name brand. This ain't Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
Actually, it is. It's a name brand. It's M3. Like, we are the ones who put value on the quote unquote name brands, and we
Mm.
represent other people's name, right? Calvin Klein,
Hmm.
Michael Kors, Tommy Hilfiger, Jimmy Choo. You can just go on and on. Versace, right? All you're doing is building someone else's name and turning it into a brand. So how can Be Easy, M3, or anyone else make their own brand? It's like we got to stop worshiping everyone else's name and stop being brand whores. If you're gonna be a brand whore, support my stuff. It's, I can have the same cotton quality of a Louis Vuitton
Hmm.
shirt, but you're gonna say, oh, my stuff is not name brand. My stuff is a better quality, but because you don't know my name, you don't want to buy it. How weird and delusional does that sound? And that might be a great segue.
Yeah. Misty Smith says that I can really compare this to milk. I'm sorry, I can really compare this milk certain foods. Well, this milk to certain foods. Okay, okay. Hey, I
What
mean,
type of milk are you talking about, Misty? I didn't
that's a
catch that.
good question. Maybe it kind of went backwards, but I can really compare this to milk certain brand. Oh, to milk certain foods. Mm.
Okay. But shout out to Marcus. I know he came through and gave a shout out to everyone.
Hmm. Salute.
So shout out to Marcus, everyone in the building that's coming through. And if you coming in on the way in, please get the likes up. Subscribe to Knowledge and Relationships. This is the road to 1,000 subs, and you can be an integral part in helping us get there. You know what I mean? Likes are free, so are comments, sharing, and having a simple discussion. And the platform, like I said, it's a great place and a safe space. It sounds funny, it sounds cliche, but Tell me where's the lie.
Mm-hmm. Regular milk and certain foods taste the same. Okay.
I miss you.
Like,
It's me. You're gonna have to expound on that. I don't
listen,
know where you're quite going with that, but I am intrigued. You say regular milk and certain foods taste the same. See, now I want to know what certain foods are you talking about? Because if it's milk and pizza, that doesn't taste the same. Milk and sandwiches, does that
I
taste the
think
same?
I
So I
I
would
think
love
what
to
she's
know
trying
what
to say.
certain foods.
Well, I think what she's trying to say is like, okay, like like the stereotype, right? And I like, and this is me being a defendant, right? There's certain
Oh, okay,
stereotypes of
okay,
certain
okay.
cereal brands, like
I
the
get it.
generic brand. Yeah, yeah, that's
I
what
got you,
I was
Misty.
kind of getting. Yeah, it
I
was.
and I agree with you. See, that's why
Mhm.
context matters because it can seem like, what are they talking about? I don't agree with them. I don't understand. But it's like, oh, actually, I do.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I grew up. You know, they also had fruit rings and fruit O's and fruity O's and fruit pops. You know what I mean? But they were all like, instead of like cocoa. It was like Cocoa
Cool.
Puffs. They had Cocoa Blasties and Cocoa Roo. You know what I mean? Instead of Apple Jacks, it was Apple Rings and Apple
Yeah,
Johnnies or something like that. You know what I mean?
I laugh about it, man. See, now we're gonna get to the generic topic, but before we then, salute to you, Von Bryant, right? Thank you for tuning in. He says,
Shout out to
greetings,
Von
peace,
Bryant, my
joy,
big bro. What up, dog?
and longevity. Look, let me tell you this though. I kind of disagree as far as with the cereal part, Misty, because here's the
Oh,
thing.
damn. M3?
I do disagree, right? Because growing up, man, with the struggle cereals, man, and graduating up to the name. Well, like I said, we get into the name brand, right? The well-known ones. So the generic cereals have a slight different taste, and it's not as good as the ones that is well known.
Damn, you going there with it,
So
M3?
I'm going there with it, right? Because if we're gonna go to genetics versus reality, look, cereal toast crunch was reality back then for me. But the other ones that was a generic version of
Hey,
cereal
yeah,
toast
you know
crunch,
what? I want to disagree with you.
you know
Yeah, I
that
want
looks
to
like it's an
disagree with you,
aftertaste
but I'm gonna keep
slightly.
it real. Why don't Yeah. Damn, you spilling all the tea on the generic shit. Okay, look, while the apple rings is good, right? I'm
Hmm.
not gonna act like the apple rings.
Yeah.
I do agree with M3. They don't quite taste like Apple Jacks, right? Say they got the frosted flakes, right? The frosted flakes don't taste the same as the just the corn, the spring, the
Yeah,
glazed corn
the flakes
flakes. They
frosted
be
or
coming in
something.
funny names.
Yeah, yeah, man. And
I
then
have to
some of
agree
them has
with
a
you. The
little,
aftertaste, though, you've
yeah.
got me with the aftertaste.
Yeah, man. Look, man, my tongue can identify all the flavors, man, of these cereals. So, when it comes to those like type of like generic stuff, I mean, I'm cool with it because like the price is good,
All
but
right,
at the
M3.
same
Since we're on
time,
the topic,
mhm.
bro, I, I need a top five. I need a top five of the cereal then of the non-generic.
Okay. So, and I'm gonna go over the
It,
top five of
it
the
doesn't
cereal
have to
that
be
I
any
use.
particular order.
Yeah.
No particular order, just the top five in quality that you
Okay.
like.
Okay. All right. So my top five, right? But here's the thing: I don't even eat so many cereals anymore. But I'm still label as my top five back then.
Me either. Me either. So
Okay.
so this is more like for our childhood, like a nostalgic
Yeah.
moment. You know what I mean?
Yo, it was Cinnamon Toast Crunch, right? Top tier. Okay. Fruity Pebbles. All right. Fruit Loops. Now, Frosted Flakes, definitely for sure, man. Because back then I did not like cornflakes. Unless if it had the sugar with it.
Yeah, the cornflakes in total, I couldn't do them.
Mm. And then there's one
So what you
more,
got? One
right?
more?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was what was the other cereal called? Because I named Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruity Pebbles, Fruit Loops, okay, Frosted Flakes, but it was something else, man, and I can't remember. Was it Apple
All right, well, let
Jacks?
me while you think, let me get
Okay. So it is okay. So all right, it's under the same brand of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it was the toasted one. You know what I mean? The toasted crunch or something.
it wasn't honeycomb or shredded wheat, was it?
No, and those was good too. But it was under like the umbrella of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it was like a maple version of it. So it was simmer French toast crunch. That's what it was.
Oh, I know what you're
Yeah.
saying, and they was the little.
Hmm.
They even was in little small bread French
Yeah.
toast crunch.
That's what okay, Rice Krispies. That's what it was. The last one was Rice Krispies.
Oh, you're talking about the Rice Krispie treat one because they had the Rice Krispies, just the
Both the
rice,
cereal and the
the
Rice
snap
Krispie
crackle
treats.
pop one, and then they
Yeah.
had the Rice Krispie treats, which was
Hmm.
actually Rice Krispies. But hold on, let me get in
Hmm.
on the action. I don't
All
know
right.
why I don't eat a lot of raisins, but bro, Raisin Bran is fire.
It
Especially
is.
they got the Raisin Bran with the like the granola mix like that. So I
Hmm.
gotta throw Raisin Bran in the mix. Shout out to Von Bryan saying Captain Crunch, but I gotta get specific with the Captain Crunch. The Captain Crunch all berries, fire.
That's right.
Apple Jacks, Apple Jacks. Don't sleep on the Apple Jacks. And if you know about the commercials, but they don't taste
Raisin.
like apples, I don't care. Fire. So we
Hmm.
already got the all berry Captain Crunch, right? We got the
Hmm.
Apple Jacks, and what else we got? Lucky
We got
Charms. I
and
love the
Mr. Best in
Lucky
the World's what
Charm.
we got too.
Um, Apple Jacks, Lucky Charms, Raisin Bran,
Hmm.
Captain Crunch, all berries, and you said some fire ones two M3, and I'm trying to see, do I want to add some off of that one? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna have to go with the shredded wheats, bro, because they got different flavors. They got like the blueberry, strawberry ones, and uh, they basically is just another version of Wheaties. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
shredded
yeah.
wheat is just a evolved version of Wheaties. So
Hmm.
I think I'll go with that. I see where Von Bryan was going with the Cheerios. I was about to go there. Whether the honey nut, they got all sorts of like chocolate
Flavors
chip,
now.
strawberry, banana ones. They got, don't sleep on Cheerios, even the plain ones. If you just throw blueberries, bananas on it, you know what I mean. But we are
Now,
joined by an esteemed guest,
hmm
Mr. Best.
after this, I have a bombshell
Man,
to hit you guys with those cereals now.
Bro, we ain't even see M3.
I
We
know,
just
I
been
know.
cooking so much on the appetizer. We haven't even got to the entree. I know you've been hearing this Mr. Intellectual Soapbox,
Yes, sir.
and we both admitted we don't like really eat cereal like that anymore. But you gotta give us a top five from your childhood in no particular order.
I only do organic cereals, so I only do
Oh
like stuff
shit!
from like Whole Foods or like Sprouts. That's about it. Like
Hmm.
I don't even mess with like the Kellogg's or Post stuff anymore. Health reasons. You know what I mean?
I
Because you can
understand.
still, you can still rock out with your cereal, get your almond milk, or depending on your diet or your gender, soy milk, right?
Yeah, they
Um,
actually with the organic, some of those cereals got a really good fiber
yep.
like you can get a
Hmm.
lot of your fiber intake from that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I should go to the kitchen and pull up my
And
cereal
you
right
can eat
now.
them dry too. Some people eat them
Yep.
dry, like and add
Hmm.
things like how they add trail mix. They'll
Yeah.
add a. Mhm.
I mean, so okay, so
Hmm.
post health stuff. I mean pre health stuff.
Hmm.
I'll say young wild days and young wild man days. I would say definitely crunch berries.
Okay.
Um, definitely honeycombs. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Definitely Rice Krispies with like mad sugar in it, like mad sugar, like the damn near the whole sugar bag.
2 cups of sugar.
Um, you know what I'm saying? Like frosted flakes, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? All those things, man. Like, what's the other ones that they had?
Number 5. Let's see.
Fruity pebbles, you know what I'm saying? I used to get like a huge bowl of Fruity Pebbles. Like, I used to feel like half of
Yeah,
the
they
bowl
have
up was the
fruity
Fruity
and the
Pebbles.
chocolate pebbles too.
Yeah.
Fruity Pebbles would be so addicting, man.
Word, Cocoa Crisp. You know what I'm saying? I used to be wilding, man. That's a whole different era. You know what I'm saying? You know, M3 no. You know what I mean? It used to be like I used to have a cabinet like just full to the point where like it'll be so full of like cereal, like I would just forget which one was like empty or which one was full. Like it would just be like cereal all over the place. And like I would just like kind of like just I'd be like, damn, like which ones are not full or which ones are empty? And like I would kind of forget sometimes. And like some shit be sitting there for like forever. And then I'll finally like pick one and then, you know, boom, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So cereal like that was a go-to meal for me for a lot of times, man. A lot of times when I ain't really have the money like that, or a lot of times
Hey,
I
you
was in
know, they'll
between
fill you
meals.
up.
Yeah.
Hey, especially when you broke. We was on whole milk, bro. Whole milk fills you up, and then if the cereal is fire, like Fruity Pebbles or something, you gotta drink the milk afterwards. You know,
got to drink the milk afterwards. You got to.
You got to.
Yo, remember
Yeah,
at the
so-
time, like when we was trying to have like a fancy moment, it was like, you know what? I'm too good for whole milk. Let me go ahead and get like, you know, the low fat milk, and it'd be like the watered down version of milk.
Yeah, I started doing that like later on, like as far as like I started like kind of figuring out some health stuff, but
Correct.
yeah, like before that, like yeah, it was nothing. I might have done like soy milk, and then like you know my family was trying to get me into like doing almond milk, but I wasn't trying to really hear it because it ain't taste the same. You know what I'm saying? Like
Correct.
ain't
Yeah.
have that whole milk taste, but like now it's mandatory. So now
Now,
like
if you try to
I'm
taste whole
good.
milk, your
Yeah,
body ain't even gonna respond to it the way you know.
yeah, not the way it
Your
used to.
stomach,
Nah,
your
yeah,
stomach gonna
I'm be
sound like
hurting, bro. I'm be hurting
yeah.
big time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Look, I remember like when I first tried like almond milk, and I like a
I
tough
like
time for a
oat
minute.
milk. Oat milk is like the closest tasting to real milk. I can do the oat milk. I haven't done the almond, cashew milk, and all of that stuff. Nothing against it. It's just like,
You know, I'll be right back. I'm gonna show y'all.
yeah.
It's a what I
But I
can
heard it
say.
wasn't bad though.
It's not bad. It's an acquired taste, right? Like you got to get used to. You got to build the palate for it. When you first eat it, you're not gonna like it. Like I'm be honest with you. Like you got to build the palate for it. Once you build the palate for it, you get you about 2-3 bowls. You'll be alright. You know what I'm saying? You'll be alright. You know what I mean? And if you need like a sugar substitute, use like dang, what they call that stuff? Sentiva, not Sentiva. Sentiva's weed.
Stevia.
Stevia. Yeah. Use stevia or something like that, like a sugar substitute, right? And that way you able to still get all that taste in there, but like it kind of take away some of the almond because the almond could be really strong when you first ain't really rocking with it. You're like, God dang, like it's really almondly, like it just really take over the whole damn thing. But like once you start getting a palate for it, man, it ain't nothing, man. I'm telling you, bro, it ain't nothing. It's super easy. So I used to eat that, right? But then I used to also this is when I was super wilding. I'll do like the McDonald's breakfast, man. That's when I was super wilding though. You know what I mean? I'll do like the all
Yeah, you
McDonald's
were moving
breakfast.
dangerously.
Very dangerously. You know what I mean? 3 pancakes, hash brown, eggs, and the little circle sausage
And
joint.
didn't it come with bacon and sausage?
I think it did, brother. Yes.
Yeah.
I was
Oh, you're
wilding.
doing the oh man.
And I
Let's
asked
not
for
talk
extra
about
syrup too.
Yeah, no, it was like the grand platter. It came with bacon, sausage, I
Yep.
think like 2
Yes.
pancakes. It came with like
I remember we just happened half
a little thing of butter and like hash browns and like something
Mhm.
else, bro. It was like a grand platter, bro.
Yeah. And I asked for extra syrup at all times. I was
Oh yeah,
wild.
the syrup in itself. You feel me? That's in itself crazy.
I ain't gonna lie. As much as I hated McDonald's, right, their breakfast platter was like the stuff for me. You know, that was
Yeah, no,
number one, and
that was
second
the
tier
one that
was
was
like
go to.
Burger King. But I look, man. Every morning, man, like at work in Hayward, I'll just go to McDonald's real quick, grab me something to eat, and man, I'll be satisfied. But I want to show you guys this real quick, okay? So if you guys can't see it, then you might want to like put a camera up on me real quick, if y'all don't mind.
I got you.
All right.
Oh yeah.
The best. All right. So look, everybody. Right. So this is like the stuff that I eat now. And shout outs to Ghost.
What's good, Ghost?
All right. So look. Well, first I'm going with the almond milk, right? So the almond milk is definitely very important, right? You want to get something that's like in this brand, okay? Three Trees almond milk. The reason why you want to get this is because you could easily get almond milk from different brands, but here's the thing: not every almond milk is real because they add a lot of oils into it, and you don't want sunflower oil, sapphire oil, other processed chemicals into your almond milk. You want it as clean as possible. The key is, from what I learned, right, is that the less ingredients that you have, the closer you are to health. Okay, the ingredients is just filtered water and organic. Organic almonds. That's all you need. You know, and you know what? And it's not even that pricey. It's not like in a large quantity, but the reason why it's not that large is because it takes like a minute for stuff to like process. Unlike other cheap brands. All right. Now, okay, Cliff has, of course, it has some kind of sugar to it, but not as much. But I still recommend, like if you have cereals, like you add like nuts to it, go with the Cliff cereals. Sometimes, like it could taste a little bit like baking soda, but hey, you know, you'll adapt. Now this one I get this from Sprouts. Sprouts. Sunrise Crunchy Vanilla. Yo, I love this type of cereal, man. Like it is so good. And sometimes I mix it with this one. It's a cereal name that I can't even pronounce, right? But we'll just call it Alpine. I'm for sure they have some type of fancy pronunciation, but the pronunciation doesn't even really matter. What matters is when you look at the ingredients of the cereals, you get your whole grains, your wheat, okay, your oats, your flaxseed, dried blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries. No added sugars. And the total sugar count is only 2 grams of sugar. So I know y'all looking at me like, like,
Oh shit! Oh shit!
because some of you sugar junkies are, still used to like adding a whole bunch of sweeteners to it. But the way how you could train and adapt is basically just try not to eat a lot of sugar at all, period. Control your sugar intake and get to the point where you're not even eating sugar at all. Okay, the less sugar you eat, the better it is for your taste buds. Then anything pretty much will wind up tasting sweet. And Well Runs Black. Hello, beautiful people. Hello to you. Salute. Thank you for tuning in. And everybody, please don't forget to comment on our YouTube channel after the show for the algorithm. The show's not over, but this is just a reminder from yours truly, Mr. Nightbot. And feel free to donate if you guys wish. Sprouts is one of the best stores.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just hit you with some cereal.
Drop some gems, bro. You and Mr. Best, man, y'all Negroes is bougie with y'all cereal. I'm like, I gotta step my cereal game up. I haven't been eating none, but the ones that y'all showed was definitely healthy, and we're gonna have to do a whole nother stream about sugar, because they say, sugar can be just as addictive, if not more addictive than like crack, meth, or any of that other stuff. Trust me, I know. If you got a sweet tooth, bro, you know how addictive sugar can be. I could go on and on about all of the great sweets, from donuts to candy bars and shit, where it tastes, delicious, but it's horrible for you. You know what I mean? But it keeps calling you, and some people will be looking like, oh, look at this crackhead, but I'm like, my nigga, you eating 10 candy bars, like. You're pretty much the same as the crackhead. You're just doing a different drug.
And that's like the worst thing too, because let's say you eating like a bunch of like candy bars. Each of those candy bars are 30 grams of sugar. Now you're thinking like, oh, 30 grams of sugar, that ain't nothing though, because you're looking at the size of a small little candy bar. But 30 grams of sugar is like this much. If you take those sugar packets, you start ripping out 30 times. You're looking at the high amount of sugar like intake, you probably
That's
might
more
want
than
to
an
think
ounce
again.
of weed. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So when you start looking at it like that, like, oh, an ounce of weed, 28 grams, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be like, if I take an ounce of weed from you, you're gonna be like, damn, you took an ounce. But it's like, bro, you just ate like 4 ounces, you know
Ounces,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh, you smoked
You know?
4 ounces. Yeah.
But it was
Damn.
just sugar. So you don't see it like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You like, oh man, you smoked a bunch of weed. Like, bro, you literally ate more than I'm smoking. So
Mm-hmm.
are you ain't in a position to judge about what drug this person is doing? You know what I mean? Same thing with people that shop. That's just a different drug that you're doing. You getting high off shopping, buying stuff that you don't need. You get high off eating a candy bar. Like, you remember, like on Friday when he was like, Day, she know about all the new snacks. Some people do take
Mm-hmm.
pride in knowing about all the new snacks. Have you
Mm-hmm.
tried this one? I remember, bro, I love donuts, bro. That's like one of the worst things for you. Sometimes
Krispy
you do be
Kreme.
want to try different donuts. They got the jelly, the sprinkles, the maple
Mm.
bars, the oats.
Yeah.
I like trying them different ones, but it's like you you justifying to make yourself want to try it, and you know that it's bad for you. Like you said, M3, I should be cutting it out. But I'm just saying, oh, I never had a maple bar. I never had one with sprinkles. People do that too. I never had a Kit Kat bar. Never had a Reese's.
Man, I
You could
used to eat
just
a
go down
dozen
the
of donuts
list.
in one day, bro. Just straight kill it.
I mean, the
And that's
thing
how
is
people
that
do.
I said, Mr. Best.
Know what you got, Mr. Best?
no, I said the thing is that like I think because I was having this conversation one time with like a close business associate of mine, and we was talking about like different things that like people should change in the black community, right? So people were saying, so she was like, okay, you know, we should have more relationships where we actually are doing things that's more me have donut. You know what I'm saying? We
All
should do
right.
things that
Oh,
shout out
snap.
Salute.
Right on
shout out
cue.
to me have donut. Good to see you. They were saying that like we should
They
have
say
more,
speak of the
we should be more
devil, no,
garnered.
speak of the donut.
Exactly. We should have
Mm-hmm.
more relationships garnered to like the nuclear family, right? To preserve the
Mm-hmm.
black community. But I was like, if you want to preserve the black community, we got to do other things as well. It's not just about monogamous relationships or getting relationships right. We also got to eat healthy, right?
Correct.
Because if I'm not eating healthy, I'm taking away from the community too. You know what I mean? If I'm not
I'm
exercising, I'm
not
taking
gonna
away
be
from the
here to
community.
see the fruits of it, right? Of what
Exactly.
we all built.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I'm drinking too much, right? I got a drinking problem. I'm taking away from the community. If I'm smoking too much, I'm taking away from the community. All these things matter. You know what I'm saying?
If you're shopping too much, right?
If you're shopping
I
too much,
I
yeah.
just seen someone bragging on my timeline on Instagram about a Versace case. Like, I had to get this one. And because it's a Versace case, it costs an exorbitant amount. Let's say over $100 for a phone case. Like I was telling you earlier, this is how we all started down this path. You representing somebody else's name and then saying that you pro-black or you're about black empowerment. But like you're saying, Mr. Best, you're essentially taking away from your family, your
hmm
community for personal gain that no one
hmm
even cares about. Is
The
that that
problem the
that
problem with our
that
people. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say this is, and these are still the appetizer. We haven't even got to the entree, but I was gonna say this is
Whew.
a great segue leading us up to the delusion that people actually suffer from.
Yeah, the problem with our people, be easy, is the simple fact that like we want unity, but we want to be able to do whatever we want, and that's not going to happen. You got to sacrifice on some type of scale, right, to have complete unity. Like let's say me, you, and them three, we move into a huge house. We all got our own rooms, right? We all got enough space. We not crowding each other. We good, right? We all got our own little eating quarters, all that, right? We still gonna have to sacrifice when it comes to certain things, right? Especially if we want to maintain
Oh,
that
okay.
home. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the thing. Like, when we build a community or we're trying to build a community, we got to understand that you have to sacrifice certain things. You can't just do whatever you want all the time. You know what I'm saying? My
And
grandfather used to
therein
say,
lies
man,
the
God,
problem.
exactly. My grandfather used to say all the time, man, God rest his soul. He said, son, you're going to have to listen to somebody someday. You know what I mean? Because I was hell bent on doing what I want to do all the time. He's like, son, you're going to have to listen to somebody someday. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Like, we got to see that we can't just always do what we want. You know what I mean? Sometimes you cannot do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to say, you know what? I got to sacrifice. You know what I mean? And and women have to give ish. I mean, I hear you, Wally. I hear you. I think both got to sacrifice. To be honest with you, bro. You know what I mean? So, if both men and women we both got to sacrifice. We both got to be on one accord. It's not more one than the other. We both got to sacrifice. Like, you know what I mean? Hell, even children got to sacrifice sometimes. So it's like everybody, man. That's the only way you build community. We all got to say, all right, and sacrifice mean that you have to deal with a level of discomfort. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I get mad. Well, not really mad, but just a little bit slightly disturbed and disappointed when I hear people say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to build a village. Like, why don't y'all say that? You only focus on raising a child. Raise the child to do what? Because sometimes people are raising childs to be miserable losers. So should I pat you on the back for that? You did raise a child, right? You fed him, and now he's an effeminate loser. Like, come on now. Like, we need a village to raise a village. We need a community to build a community. You know what I mean? And yes, it does start at home. And then people be like, my home is good. Yeah, your home is good, but who are you going to interact with? You're trying to assimilate with other groups that don't rock with you like that. The only way they rock with you like that is if you get on their program. And then that comes back to people saying, oh, I'm not trying to do Eurocentric stuff, and why should I have to follow you? In the Moynihan report back in 65, he was saying, you can't have a group that's operating on a different accord than what the dominant, successful group is doing, right? You don't have to do everything that they're doing. It's just like a chicken recipe. M3 may have his spices, right? I could add my own spices, and the spices that M3 used, it is proven to work. I don't have to use all of his spices. So we try to do things like, oh, Eurocentric and patriarchy. Like, hey, what works. You know what I mean? Do what they do and put your own mix on it. So now it's not patriarchy. Now it's, modern patriarchy, you know what I mean? Like, that's what we try to do sometimes, to limit ourselves, putting titles on each other and mislabeling and miscategorizing stuff. I'm not trying to be a matriarch or a patriarch. Like, what does that even mean? You ask 10 people, you'll get 30 different answers. But you know what it means to be Black. You know what it means to face racism and subjugation. So how about we just start there versus, everyone saying like, well, I don't got to listen to Mr. Best. I got a master's. Yeah, but what have you done with the master's? Nigga, move to a white community where you're not accepted? Like, what are we talking about here?
Let me read these comments real quick. Because watch this. Sorry, my G. Real tip. Women really don't. So they have everything to outbeat men, sadly. Just watch this game over. We really going to see who Winter is coming out for. Okay. And Me Have My Donut says, man, I've had this discussion for over 5 hours now. In the last 48 hours, women expect men to have unrealistic mind-reading powers, but men aren't even allowed to be average height and ask for loyalty. Ugh.
And you know why I like that comment, Me Have a Donut? Because that leads to the first part of the segment. Delusion, right? So let me just bring the comment up again. I've had this discussion for over 5 hours, and in the last 48 hours, women expect men to have unrealistic mind-reading powers. That's delusion, the epitome of it. But men aren't even allowed to be average height and ask for loyalty. Well, I wouldn't say, I think the verbiage of be allowed, if you're average height, your average height is nothing about allowance, you know what I mean? But I do get what you're saying. Women are going to say, hey, you're average height, you're not my preference. Man, you just got to stop looking for tall chicks, go for the ones that's shorter than you, you know what I mean? Don't even deal with the chick. If the height is a deal breaker, I'm not about to waste my time trying to convince this chick that I'm,
Hey, Bees, I gotta reply to you real quick though, because see, the thing is, what's worse is that it's not even like the tall chicks that have the height requirement. It's really the 4'11" chicks that wants this 6'8" type of dude to be all around her shoulders, even though she looks like a midget to him. Those are the ones that are even more unrealistic.
I think everybody has
Yeah,
their
no,
standards, right?
that
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
I think everybody got their
correct.
standards, right, y'all? Right, but
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the thing, right? This is the thing that we gotta understand. I think like we gotta go back to what we used to do, right? As far as we gotta get away from the simp culture. Now that doesn't mean that we stop being romantic, right? I think a lot of men don't know the difference between romancing and simping, right? They don't know. You know what I mean? They're kind of lost in that, right? So simp culture means like you just put up with anything that kind of modern day females are kind of pushing forward. Any status quo, anything they say, you just go with it. You don't even try to fight it. You don't even try to give any pushback, nothing, right? But see, the men back in the day, right? Not saying that we can take all the values or structure from back in the day, 'cause that's impossible, right? We got technology now. People have more freedoms, whatever, whatever. But I think some basic principles we can either take from or learn from, right? Now, listen, you can have a case, right, that men back in the day was way more romantic than men now, right? I mean, you look at like Earth, Wind, and Fire. You look at like, Marvin Gaye, Al Green. These brothers was singing about some real, some real feelings that they had towards women. But see, the difference is, right, is that it's two things. One, those men didn't put up with certain things, and women knew that, right? So they had to get in line with certain things. Also, the women didn't have as much financial, you know, independence that they do now, right? So now, when you come into a home, a woman could be making much as you, or she's making more, and on top of that, she could be more educated than you. Hell, she may be in better shape than you, right? Or almost as better in better shape than you. So now women are able to compete with us on different levels where they couldn't do that back in the day, right? Because financially they couldn't do it, education wise they wasn't allowed to. You know what I mean? Or they wasn't or they wasn't given the benefactors to do that on either scale. But now when you have women that can actually compete with us and actually be equals with us on different levels or be superior to us at certain levels, of course they're gonna think a certain way or feel a certain way. Like I'm not like listen. No human being, right? We never see no human being in human being history most of the time, right? Be like, yeah, I know I'm better than you, but you know what? I'm just gonna be submissive to you. Nah, really, like human nature, or just people nature, period, or just nature in itself. Like when competition arises, it changes the format of things. You know what I mean? So now women are able to compete. It changes the format. You know what I'm saying? They're able to have more freedoms. They're able to
Does
have
it
more
change the
liberties.
format for the good or for worse, do you think?
It's a double-edged sword, bro.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you know, it still doesn't change the dynamic of them needing to be submissive and feminine. That can't change, right? Yeah, you can have accolades, but you still got to be a woman. I can have accolades, but I
That's
still got to be a man.
non-negotiable.
That's not negotiable. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
I can't say, okay, now I want to be in a feminine as a man. Nah, that doesn't right. Just okay, yeah, I drive a Bentley and I'm a lawyer, so now I can be feminine as a man. No, that's not how it works. I still need to be masculine. I still want to be masculine. I still desire that. That's in my nature. So women still desire it. You know what I'm saying as well. You know what I mean? But society has told them, and they've been allowed to feel and portray that they don't need to be that, right? So I think that's the problem. But men, we still need to be masculine in a lot of ways, in a lot of areas. But even that's kind of blending with the LGBTQ community, right? So now you introduce that changes dynamics completely. So I think now I just think we got to just destroy and rebuild, man. Destroy and rebuild. And once we destroy and rebuild, I think that both have to say, look, these are the standards and morals and guidelines that I'm gonna have in my household, and we're gonna work as a collective. You know what I'm saying? We got to work as a collective because us trying to be the spearhead for everything is just not gonna happen right now because they have too much freedom. You know what I mean? It's like if you give a child a bunch of freedom, if a child know that I can get ice cream anytime and the parent can't stop me, then they're gonna stop eating ice cream. They're gonna eat ice cream till the teeth fall out. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a detriment to them. You know what I mean? Because now they have that capability. You know what I mean? So and I'm not trying to compare women to children. It's kind of just a loose example, right? What I'm trying to say on a bigger scale is that in order for us to healthy relationships with women, we got to basically work with them collectively, man, because they just got too much freedom now. So yeah,
I got
Man,
something to say about all that, but I gotta write in my notes so then because I gotta reply to some of the
yeah, I'm
people in
gonna
the
have to get
chat.
my notepad too because you
Hmm.
touched on a lot of stuff. But
Hmm.
man, this is a really hardy discussion,
Yeah.
especially one of the things that you were saying is essentially, I mean, we got to be able to, you know, take direction, right? Because this is the thing. People want to say, oh, I ain't following no one. It's like when you go and you play professional sports, you
mm-hmm.
know how many times the coaches is yelling at you, telling you do this. Some teams you got to say, yes, sir, yes, coach. You know what I mean? All of this other type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Military, they getting in your face so close that they spitting on you. You know what I mean? Are they in charge of your body? Are you a slave? Do you own them? Or are they leading this battalion, this group, this contingent, this conglomerate, and you need to follow directions? Doesn't mean that you're a follower, but somebody has to lead. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine it was in the 300 and everyone is looking at Leonidas like, I want to be the leader. I want to be the leader. So now you fighting each other to be the leader. Bro, being the leader is not always hella fun, bro. People think, oh,
Exactly.
this person is the boss or the quarterback. Like you think Tom Brady get all the accolades. It ain't for nothing. You don't want to be Tom Brady or LeBron James and be facing constant scrutiny every day. So which one is
Mm-hmm.
it? You want to be in charge, you get in charge, you complain. You're not in charge, and then you complain like, I ain't taking orders from him. This person put in more work than you. So who else you gonna take orders from? You don't want to
Mm-hmm.
take orders from the black man because you know he's on the same level as you. You don't want to take the orders from the white man because he's Eurocentric. You go to these other groups and you say they people of color. They don't want nothing to do with you. So it's like, where are you going to take direction from? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You can't just be your own leader all the time. Otherwise, the conditions of probably certain people's families and communities wouldn't look the way they look. Bro, everybody has to be led. Bro, even millionaires have mentors. They already know enough to live successfully. And what do they do? Go get a mentor and a life
Hey,
coach.
Mr. Killer,
Salutes to Justice Flash.
you right, like you absolutely right. But here's the thing. That's why, because here's the thing, right? My thing is, okay, if we want to build community, right, and we still have the same freedoms that we have now, right? Let's say they're not taking away none of the freedoms that women or men have, right? None of us are losing any freedoms, and we say essentially that's what it's going to be, and we're going to incorporate all genders. We're going to incorporate all religions, all everything, right? So with that being said, the reason I said destroy and rebuild may have donut is because in order to get to that point, we actually are building a functional community. I'm talking about people of color. We have to get to the point where we just completely let go of everything that we know. You know what I'm saying? We gotta let go of the things that we doing now and the things that we were doing before because really need the things that we did before. We maybe could take some principles, but we know that they're not gonna fully work now because we got too much freedom. The things we doing now with that freedom, some of it is positive, but some of it is very, very negative. So let's just destroy and rebuild. Destroy, rebuild as a collective. All right, women, this is what we believe that this is what we believe could help. You know what I'm saying? Men, this is what we believe you could do and help, and we work as a tandem and as a unit. You know what I mean? Along with the children, and we rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it has to be. You know what I mean? That's the only way it can be. You know what I mean? It can't be the same system that it is now. 'Cause like I said, everybody has too much freedoms. Hell, even kids got freedom. You can't even beat a kid's ass no more. They can call the cops on you. Literally. And it can tape you. You know what I mean? They can video record you because now they got cell phones now. The little kids got cell phones. They got iPads, cell phones, and everything else. You got 10-year-olds that got more gadgets than all three of us combined. It's crazy. But that's reality.
All right,
All
let
right,
me.
let's um oh yeah, he was gonna run through the chat. I don't know which one. It looks
So
like the past ones you already went through, but Well Runs Black is super active in the chat. Says if we are not losing freedoms, we have to listen because we are coming various regions and walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
We have to
We have to
communicate.
communicate.
Yep.
And I'd
Yeah.
say we have to communicate. I agree with you, but it's just incomplete. We have to communicate effectively. When you're yelling at people, oh, fuck you, man, this nigga weak, this bitch, that's communication, right? It's toxic and dysfunctional, but it is communication. And people will understand that. But nah, that's not the communication that we need. We need something that's actually meaningful and progressive, where each individual is taking accountability and personal responsibility for their behavior and actions, not necessarily trying to play the blame game or presenting a blame pie. Because with the blame pie, it's always enough slices to go around. Somebody got to get the bigger slice. Somebody is going to get the bigger slice. Do you want to argue about who is going to get the bigger slice, or just everybody accept, blame their level of culpability, and let's just move forward? You know what I mean? But Wally says rebuild what? Hold on, let me see what he said. Rebuild what? You not getting that? You be hella lucky. Let's be real.
Remember, I said destroy and rebuild, Wally. You can't just take one part of my point.
Thinking that you can destroy and rebuild per the
He just said rebuild. He didn't even say nothing about destroy. He said rebuild. So you got to cover both my points, Wally, and tell me why I'm wrong. You just can't say rebuild.
Yeah, I don't see rebuild happening until something severely drastic change. Destroy means a drastic change. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Mr. Best is talking very drastic. So let's just say it like this, right? I know M3, aka Buff Bagwell, could relate to this. When you're dealing with bodybuilding and building muscle, you know how you build muscle? You put your muscle to the test of exhaustion. Your muscle gets ripped, all sorts of tears, micro tears. It's essentially destroying your muscle fibers, but when it rebuilds, it comes back with a thicker, more fibrous, muscular
tone. The muscle trophies, yeah.
Exactly. So strengthens the structure, infrastructure, foundation, and essentially you get stronger physically and mentally, because now you looking super buff, sun's out, guns out. You know what I mean? That's essentially an analogy to kind of draw a correlation to what Mr. Best is saying. Like, certain things just have to go, right? Maybe they can be implemented in a certain way, or maybe they'll just be gone and vanish forever. But that may not be the worst thing. Just people are clutching their pearls and holding on to, man, I have to give up some things that are traditional to me. But yeah, the traditional things to you are toxic. You know what I mean? People, just like how people are attracted to those candy bars and shopping and stuff, people are attracted to the toxicity. They just don't really want to admit it, right? Even right, eating all of this bad junk food, that's toxic, and you're addicted to that. Spending money that you don't have on cars, that's actually toxic. You're addicted to that. Getting banged and knocked up by Tyrone and Junebug, you knew they was toxic, but somehow they penetrated your vagina. That was pretty toxic. You seem addicted to that. But we don't want to do that. And it's the same on the men's side, right? Man, she just a thought, she for the streets. But you put your seed in her? Like, what are you even complaining about, bro? It's pretty toxic, bro. And then you did it 3 or 4 times. Seems like you addicted to that, bro, along with all of the other things I alluded to. What you guys got?
Wait, well, before I even make my comments, be easy, right? I just want to make sure I kind of like quickly address like a couple of comments from before, because I know if I don't do that and everybody's chatting up like a storm. What's up, DJ Eddie? I won't even be able to get my point. Now, look, I just want to let you guys know, right? When we be having these conversations about black men and women, I know some of you guys feel like, we're targeting just sisters, aka black women. This is not about black women. Most of the times I'm not even talking about our sisters like that. I'm talking about all women, okay? Because all women have a certain pattern and mindset. Okay, so I just want to make sure that look, we're not if we're talking bad or we're speaking our opinion, this is nothing negative towards our sisters, you know. And the reason why we talk about these women and men or whatever, because not only we do love our community, but at the same time we're being realistic in just American society and the way how things are, you know. And there are solutions to really combat with that. Somebody was saying something about before we went to rebuild and destroy. Somebody was saying something about like the height thing. You know, in my reply to the height part, right? You know, a lot of men they get caught up in this height thing or whatever. So let me just tell you this: most women are going to look for the height in dating apps. Okay, now if you're a heavily dating app user, and you're not 6 feet and above, that's just not the app for you. These are not these. This is just not the venue for you. You know, if you're a short man, don't use those apps. Okay, if you're under 5'7", but that doesn't not mean that you cannot find a woman who have that same desire for you in person. A lot of times they're speaking out loud about their preference. If they could choose a 6 foot man over you, they would. But realistically, the 6 foot man probably don't even want the 4'11" type of woman. So most women will settle for the next kind of guy. So it's never too late. It's not like it's gonna go in rooms. And Wally, I know you said to in reply to Mr. Best that you said that you cannot even destroy if things are going to destroy who have that type of power, not you. So with that, how can you even rebuild? You can't. So that chance is not even possible. To me, that sounds like a defeated type of mindset. But Mr. Best, if you would like to respond to him, feel free to. Otherwise, we can move on. Hold on. DJ, I see you in the building, but we cannot hear you. You might have your mic muted on your end, not the StreamYard mic, but maybe your personal mic. Let me see. And Mr. Best, are you back? But anyways, that's what I kind of look at. I'm like, look, you know, look, nobody can really change the world overnight. You know what I mean? But evolution over time, you know, we do go through our changes. Like think about it like this. I mean, we came our you know parents or whatever came a long way from you know how things used to have been, you know, to like how things are now. Now we may not see it happening, but in the future it probably can. And especially like how right now the internet is exposing like a lot of things between human nature. I could see ourselves like growing a little bit, but right now power is being shifted to the woman because women are the largest consumers in American society, and America wants to protect them at all costs. Nothing wrong with that, but when there's unbiases, unjust, you know, for you know the man towards the man, and just want to make men look stupid, then unfortunately that's just what it is. Because we do live in a cancel culture type of society. Society. Now it's relationships. I respect your channel. I'm new here. Yes, thank you, thank you for tuning in. Well, what well runs black man? Try to say that 5 times. Yeah, I've always felt relationship chats here implied women and men around the world seeing these one night stands and 6'4" mindsets have penetrated penetrated the East over 15 years ago. Penetrated the East over 15 years ago. Okay. Yeah.
And let me pick that up because
Mm-hmm.
that's social media, which is leading to the delusional mindset. And I understand. I know Mr. Best was talking about preference and standards, and there's a fine line between preference, standards, and delusion, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
you're 4'8", 4'11", but you want this dude that's 6'5", these unnecessary. Now we can say that that is your preference and that is your standard, but it could be borderline in delusion too, because I know one of my homies is 6'4", and he told me, he was like, hey, the reason why now, like I said, this may be a primal carnal reason for choosing his baby mama, but women do the same thing. They look at a dude, man, he gonna get me a little athlete. Yep, I'm gonna knock him up. I don't care if he's a dusty, he's super tall, he got good genetic. My homie had said, like, he's seen, his big baby mama, who's super tall, he's already 6'4". He was like, man, she's gonna produce me some football players. LeVar Ball said the same thing. I mean, his wife is pretty tall. Look at all his kids, like over like 6'5", like two of them in the NBA, one in there. So there are people that have preference and standards, and their preference and standards may be different, and some people are just simply delusional. So what I'm saying is, somebody that's 6'5", they may look like, hey, yeah, I'll smash her for a chick, but man, I want my kid to be taller, right? Because there's a bias towards height. So the chicks is over here thinking they so delusional and saying, hey, my preference is for the dude to be this tall. But like you were saying, M3, he may not even be checking for you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm back, y'all. I'm back. My back. I had to step away for a second to
No
answer
problem.
Wally real quick. Listen, when you're destroying rebuilding, you have an objective, right? You're not just destroying things without having an objective to rebuild. Basically, and here's the thing: when we went through different eras, in Black culture, we had to destroy and rebuild, right? So we had to destroy during the Civil Rights era and rebuild to what we had, to kind of the standard that we have now. You know what I mean? Which is kind of changed throughout the time after that. You know what I mean? So yes, destroying and rebuilding is a process, but in that you have a goal in mind. You're not just aimlessly destroying and rebuilding. You actually have a plan of what you want to do and how you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So if we have a plan and we have a structured plan of, look, we getting rid of these certain things as far as our society, whether it comes to men, women, children, whatever, and we adopting these philosophies. What do we need to do? You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. It's not just people just aimlessly saying. It's not me just saying, you know what, I'm not gonna wear no more black. No, like no, it's more complex than that. It's a concise plan to destroy and rebuild. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in each moment of history, whether you go through slavery, post-slavery, you know what I mean, segregation, you know what I mean, then from segregation to civil rights and all that, it was all a matter of destroying and rebuilding. They destroyed the former system and they rebuilt the new one. It's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? This is not a new philosophy. I'm not talking about anything new. You know what I'm saying? So we always gonna have to destroy and rebuild. We're gonna have to get rid of the old customs and adopt new customs that fit for today and that can help people to be more unified.
Mm-hmm. I get that, but long road. Time will tell though, so I'll be watching.
And hold on, I gotta get on this, and let me go ahead and cam up for this. Look, Wally, I don't know you, so I'm sure you're a great, upstanding citizen. But when you said, I get that, time will tell, so I'll be watching. But what will you be doing? Are you just going to be sitting there watching? Are you going to be participating? Are you going to be doing your own community building, the kind that you're asking what is being done, where is it being done? What's stopping you? You are a smart guy. You could build a community of 3 guys that turns into 5, that turns into 10. So I think it is fair to question and say, hey, where is this being done? It's also fair to question, where are you doing it at? Right?
Facts.
That's a good point.
It's fair to the question to ask for all of us. I'm doing it right now. I go to Oakland. I'm from Pittsburgh, bro. I slide to Oakland, Richmond, all this stuff. I get met with a lot of resistance, bro. I'm passing out pizzas, sandwiches, books, and stuff. These kids don't be wanting books all the time. Some of them do, some of them don't. Should I stop? You know what I mean? If I help one, oh man, it's only one. What if that one person makes it to the NBA, becomes president, becomes an astronaut? If I've helped one or two or three or four and you've helped zero, not speaking about you, Wally, I'm just speaking generally, are you even in a position to critique me? Are you even qualified to get in on this discussion? Right? It's just like somebody talking about basketball, right? Like Steph Curry shot is off. Like, bro, have you ever made a three? Have you even ever made three pointers in a row? Like, come on, bro. You maybe not even
Mm,
qualified to, be giving your critiques. Maybe try making a basket first. You still may not be qualified, but at least you can say, hey, I made a basket, right? You ask all of these people, like, bro, who did you donate to? Like, if you're not building anything, who did you donate to? Oh, I couldn't find anyone building. Were you looking hard enough? Because people always could find somebody fucking up, right? But they can never seem to find
mm-hmm.
somebody doing good. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidence? I don't know.
Mm.
What y'all say?
Yeah, my response to that is just easy, bro. Like, no pun intended, bro. But my thing is this, right? At the end of the day, like most people, man, most people haven't even given somebody, clothes to wear. Most people haven't even just done basic stuff, fed people that they know, like, or help people with, with money, or even have people stay with them for a minute, open up their home. Most people haven't even done that. So a lot of times, when I'm talking, I'm just talking over people's head, man. I know, and I'm not coming at you, Wally. I ain't coming at nobody. But a lot of times, I'm just talking over people's head. I'm just talking over people's head because I've done this. You know what I mean? I've lived it. So a lot of times, I'm just talking over people's head, and they don't really understand what I'm talking about or what I mean or what's going on. And I'm giving clear examples of what I mean. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I've walked you through each era of our community and why we had to destroy and rebuild each step of the way. You know what I mean? We had to go from slavery to post slavery. That was destroying and rebuilding. You know what I mean? If you don't think we had to destroy that part of society, then you would still be enslaved. Okay? You would still be working on a plantation for massa. You know what I mean? And you will and you basically will have a schedule where you be up either picking cotton or you would actually be, in the master's home. You know what I'm saying? You either be a field Negro or a house Negro. Okay? If we didn't have to destroy and rebuild that. You know what I mean? Then we went to segregation, where you couldn't be in certain areas, or they wouldn't feed you, or you know what I'm saying? Or they wouldn't allow you to have certain jobs, or you couldn't go to certain hotels or certain restaurants or whatever. So we had to destroy and rebuild that. If that wasn't the case, then you trying to go to the Marriott and all these nice hotels and all that, you ain't able to go up in there, right? You try to go up in there if you want. There's gonna be hell to pay, right? So we had to destroy and rebuild that. You know what I mean? So from that, we got the civil rights era. You know what I mean? So now we still are in that because we haven't done really anything from that. You know what I mean? We got the civil rights, we did everything we got to do. So now that we at this stage, now we seeing things are kind of in turmoil and things are kind of in a certain way. We got to destroy and rebuild again. I'm not saying nothing new to you. You know what I mean? This is well known. So destroying and rebuilding has always had to happen within our communities and within us being here in this country. Or in any country. You can take Europe, you can take whatever country you want, man. Africa, whatever country you want, China, whatever. It's always gonna be destroy and rebuild, man. There's one era goes away and then they build on another one. They rebuild and they start a whole new one. But something has to go for another thing to exist. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is when it comes to the status quo of how things are done amongst people. You know what I mean? One empire rises, another one falls. You know what I'm saying? They don't coexist together. You know what I mean? So for one ideal or one principle to be major, something has to fall within society. That's just how it's always been, and it's never gonna change. You know what I mean? That's just what it is.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Let me see.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I wanted to see what Well Runs Black says. So how do we survive in a recession if we don't have regular access to YouTube or dating sites? What do the lonely do? And see, this is where, hold on. See, this is where people have got too lazy, entitled, comfortable, delusional, um, intellectually dishonest. Because I'm not saying anyone in general, because I know Well Run Black says he or she is new here, and Wally or anyone in the chat, we're speaking generalized. Like we ain't taking shots. If I take shots, I do them directly. You know what I mean? So we're just speaking kind of generally. But when it comes to YouTube, dating sites, social media, Facebook, Instagram, these are tools that can be used for greatness, but usually people use them frivolously. So when you're on YouTube, nothing or YouTube, usually people from YouTube, then they follow people on Instagram, right? Sometimes people be watching people's stories, don't like stuff. Don't Sometimes they comment, but it's comment on BS. You slide in the DMs, but for BS. Why you not sliding? Hey, what's your email outside of this? Hey, what's your personal phone number so I can contact you? Or what's your Google or text hangout number? You know what I mean? So people need to make a more conscientious effort to build outside of social media because they just rely on social media. Oh, YouTube will always be there. I mean, you're just taking it for granted. I'd say also too, like we used to have little black books and phone books. What's stopping you from doing that now? The numbers that are value to you, why don't you write them down? Most people don't have a number memorized because if I say what's M3 number, you don't know it because all you do is pick up your phone and say call M3. It dials the number for you so you never have to memorize it. I say use the jail test. You say, oh, I'm not a criminal, I'll never go to jail. But hypothetically, if you did go to jail, whose number would you remember? You get from one phone call. You can't even remember one, right? How intellectually lazy is that? People like, I can't remember my social. How many times do you gotta type in your social security? You can't even remember that? Like, okay, I understand. People like, oh, I got a bad memory. Why don't you work on that, right? Just like you can work on contacting people and communicating and building a network outside of social media. The same people that are complaining about social media literally rely on social media for everything, but not for the greatness, for the frivolousness. It's like I don't want to hear you complaining if you're not doing anything about it. People will hear 5 dope content creators, but they have no contact information on them. I was following some people and YouTube suppressed them or shadow banned them. I couldn't even follow them. They like unsubscribed me. I couldn't even see their stuff. You know what I mean? So if I want to reach out to them, I couldn't even find their page. But also, y'all have heard the revolution won't be televised. So if it's not going to be televised, how the hell am I going to get in contact with Mr. Best? Right? Think about it. I need to have a substantive conversation, and I need to go to YouTube to contact them. I need to hop on WhatsApp. Now we should be using all of these outlets because if they shut me down on YouTube, I can hit them up on Facebook. They shut me down on Facebook, I hit them up on Instagram, hit them up on Snap, and then I still have email, personal numbers, etc. Because when I'm talking about building, I need feet to the ground, bro. I'm actually got toes on the pavement. So I can't just have this virtual reality stuff. The YouTube streets is cool, but when I talk about pull up, I'm actually literally pulling up to where I could shake your hand, give you a hug, slap you if you're talking crazy. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. In order to do that, bro, we need to be linking up together outside of relying on social media. I'll let y'all pick it up from there.
He's right about that because and here's the thing. Tonight, this is what we're gonna do, man. For every question that's asked, we're gonna just try our best to quickly provide a solution. Because there is a solution to everything. We just gotta really dig deep into it. Let me see in the comments because you said something.
Yeah, they active in the chat. They dropping
Yeah.
good things to keep the conversation. I like this one
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Rob
definitely.
Wyatt right here.
Is YouTube and the internet the only place to get dates? I'm sure it's a tool, but there's other methods outside of that right now. But who am I to say I've been married for 20 years? Ooh. Let me tell you guys this, right? I didn't need no dating app to find my spouse, to find my wife. I didn't need that stuff. Matter of fact, dating apps to me didn't really exist in my book. So you have to learn, man. And here's the thing. Don't get this mixed up like you gotta have game. Because game does not really apply to anything unless the person has attraction for you. And even still, I wouldn't even consider like game to be the necessary tool to even attract women. It's just that you got to know how to carry a conversation with a woman. See, half of you men, right, in general, don't know how to have a conversation with a woman. And there's different women too. So different women comes with different conversations and dialect. So you're not going to be this perfect conversationalist where you're going to just, talk to every woman and she's going to be intrigued. But you got to spot on to the ones who really have a desire to kind of get to know you. That's what it's all about. Having a desire, a woman having a desire to get to know you, she will allow you, okay? She will allow you to make the approach, okay? And she will allow you.
Hold on, M3. Let me ask you this, because you just said allow the woman the opportunity to get to know you.
No. I said women, right? If they have the attraction for you, they will allow the man to get to know them. You know what I mean? Like they will put themselves
basically
out there.
They'll give the man more access to them, right?
Yeah. So basically they'll give a man the chance from him to make the approach. Because most women in the majority, they don't really approach. Some don't, some exceptions they probably will, but they'll do it subtle where they'll put themselves in your vicinity to make their approach to them. But that's not always guaranteed. But for men who are not really sure how to talk to women, how to really approach them, stop trying to waste your time scouting around and searching for women who don't really have attraction for you. Find someone who's willing to kind of sit around and actually carry a conversation with you. Simple terms. You talk, she talks back, you talk again, she's talking, and if the conversation is flowing, that's it. But if it's just short answers, if it feels like, okay, you're wasting her time and she's about to be out, stop trying to pursue it. There's other women that you guys could kind of pursue, but remember, every woman's different. But you still have to know how to talk to
them.
Yeah,
and see that. And that's where cats get when they talk about game. See, when it comes to game, I'm a master at that. The mouthpiece is quite devastating. But see, when you are a proficient with game, you don't necessarily even have to use it. It's just like a master martial artist. Like the best skill is me not having to use this stuff, but I still possess the propensity and ability to use that. So when people talk way a little bit too much about game, it's because usually they don't have anything and they're trying to, kind of psych themselves out into saying, hey, yeah, I do have game. And they're also pursuing. This is where the delusion comes in, because like you said, you need to be going after the women that truly respect and value you, but then you'll go after an IG model wanting her to respect and value you when you know all she wants is the rapper, the D-boys and thugs. You ain't that, but you believe that, I should have her because she got the BBL and this is what I'm attracted to. And you say, I want a good woman, but I also want a bad bitch. A bad bitch ain't always a good woman. I don't know who told y'all that, but M3 could let y'all know.
Yeah, man, I'm ready to cook on this one. Okay,
Chef M3 coming right up.
Let me say this, right? And don't worry, I'm not gonna go empty after dark on you guys. All right, it ain't that late. Sophia made a good point at the very end, right? She says, "Lead, and we will follow," meaning men will lead, women will follow. Men, I know y'all like the usual when we're saying thought this, thought that, and why black women are so terrible or just all women are terrible, right? But look, there gotta be a level of accountability, man, for you dudes, okay? And here's the accountability part. The reason why you have a lot of unruly women that's out there existing, that's showing their bodies, their asses, getting BBLs or whatever, W's, however you want to call it, right? The reason why they're doing cosmetic surgeries, the reason why they're showing so much skin around the arms, legs, and everything else you could even imagine is because they do it for you. They're following you. And when I mean they're following you, they're following your thoughts. They're following your desires. They know that is bait. Here's the thing. Here's the power. You want to know about game, you know? The true game is this. When you have dick discipline, okay? When you have self-control over your urges, that is where respect comes into play. Unfortunately, the majority of men, 95% of them, no, matter of fact, 97%, you guys don't have no self-respect for yourselves, you know? And we all been there too. And we're still working on it, on gaining self-respect. But I'm just saying for us men as in general, until we start having self-respect for ourselves and love ourselves a little bit more and deny like these sexual type of urges, I know we have like, you know, our hormones and stuff and like, you know, it be kicking in and, you know, we ready to go. But you're only making it hard for yourself and for other men around you. You don't need to chase after these women. Look, man, the vagina is the same. All right? Like, believe it or not, you know, the style of sex or whatever is the same. The only thing that's different is based off your attraction for that woman, that passion and desire, and that's what gives that perception of being like, you know.
Hold on, M3. Hold on, M3. I gotta challenge you.
Okay.
I gotta challenge you. So when you said the vagina is the same, let's go back to that cereal conversation. Mm-hmm. What did we say about the apple rings?
We know the generics and we know the name brand.
They don't taste the same as the Apple Jacks, right? The Cocoa Blasties don't taste the same as the Cocoa Puffs. So when you say all cooch is the same, are you saying that there's not mediocre coochie? Or are you saying there's not designer coochie?
No, wait, okay. Because see, I know that's where you guys want to get to that part, right? That's why I started off by saying they're all the same, because you know why? I'm saying this as a psychological aspect, not like a true, actual, factual, and physical aspect. We know there's different feelings of it, but we tend to get numb because we get bored as men, you know? And the reality is that men, okay, have a desire to go mess around with other women. I don't care if y'all want to hide it through religion or not, you know? We all have those urges that we like, dang, I want to like, you know, a black woman, I want a Puerto Rican, I want an Asian. I want to know how all these boxes feel like. You know what I mean? Or for the ones who already been through that, know the differentiation of it. Some of them have like that fish box, and that's not the right type of box you want to be up in there for too long. But, you know, the point is, after a while, you get psychologically, mentally, you get bored. If you're only tapping in with the same person over and over, you know what I mean? Or let's say you have 3 women, you get tapping over and over. After a while, they're different, but you're gonna be so bored, it will just feel like, oh man, this is just the same routine, the same sex person, same this, same that. You know what I mean? That's the point that I'm getting to it. So we're floodgating with a bunch of chats though, but
man, let me build on that real quick. I want to say salute to 100 watts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Let me
definitely hit up the chat real quick. Let me just run through the chat real quick because I just want to let you cook because I know my bro John just came in and I dropped a link so anybody want to come up, John, 100 watts,
I can do that for you guys.
Brian, y'all definitely would be. But I don't know where you left off, but I just want to start real quick right here because I know they were showing some love, you know. She's saying, I appreciate that. I want to promote as well because I see the professionalism and positivity speaking about the knowledge and relationship platform. So that is a lot of love, you know, because this is a professional, prosperous, and positive space. So thank you, you know. Von Brighton says, just the other day I ran into this platform called the Pineapple Show. I'm sure all the fellas are familiar with the infamous Pineapple Show. I was so shocked to see how a lot of these young brothers lack the ability to rap to these young ladies. It's hilarious.
We're going to definitely talk about that.
It's partly pathetic, too, because some dudes just put themselves out there. And I see a lot of beta buffoonery and a lot of incel vibes. But, you know, at least they are shooting a shot. You know, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So hopefully they're able to learn from the rejection. Johnson Sinatra says, speak on him. He says, I like this easy dude. He's funny, you know. I'm just warming up and I will be here more often with jokes and much more. Von Brian is cracking up. We got 100 watts in here. I dropped the link. So if y'all want to come up, you know, go ahead and come up. You know, don't be on no foolery or buffoonery, or we will kick you. We will mute you. Just giving y'all fair warning.
Be easy. Can you go up to like Sophia because
my bad.
No, you good. She says, M3, speak on it. Don't pick up the phone and watch a girl straighten up. We're not dogs, but tell us no. If we get in your baby face,
your boy's face.
If we get in your boy's face, leave. But the man that you are, be the man that you are. Sorry. Be the man that you are. Yep, that's right. We get in your boy's face, leave. Be the man that you are. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it, Sophia. Definitely.
Let me,
Mr. Best.
Let me cook on this, man. Listen. In relationship, man, I'm gonna just keep it 100. It's give and take. You know what I mean? It's sacrifice on both parts. You know what I mean? So when you in a relationship with somebody for a long period of time, you have your ups and downs. And there's times where you're gonna have to sacrifice and the time where she's gonna sacrifice. The thing is that you gotta have somebody that's willing to sacrifice on both ends. So as a man, there's gonna be some times, everything's rocking for you, right? You're making money, things is going great. You know what I'm saying? Everything is rocking, man. Everything's rocking. I mean, like, everything is a green check. You know what I mean? There's no X's on the board. Everything's a go. You know what I mean? Everything is a go. You can eat whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. Hell, you can buy whatever you want. See that car in the back would be easy? Hell, if you want that type of car, you can have the type of car with the house and all that. Like, everything's going perfectly fine, right? Then sometimes as a woman, everything's going perfectly fine for you, right? But in life, we have to have our peaks and valleys. You know what I mean? So when you meet a person, right, it may not be where you started. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I mean, not where it started. It may not be where you wind up being, right? So, you know, I know M3 met his, you know, his person at a certain level in life. I met mine at a certain level in life. Through life, we both evolved. You know what I'm saying? But in that evolution, it took sacrifice, right? So there's times where we as men had to sacrifice, right? Point blank simple. We had to sacrifice. We had to say, you know what? shit, okay, I got to change this, right? I got to make this happen. I got to make that happen. It is what it is, right? And sometimes the women had to sacrifice, and they had to make sacrificial things, right? Or we both had to sacrifice at the same moment. Damn, I want to do things this way, but it ain't gonna work. We're gonna be together. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, some sacrifice that we had to make or we didn't want to make almost cost us the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Just to be honest. You know what I mean? So it's a give and take thing, right? And I think the communication thing is not really a man or woman thing. That's just a character thing, right? If you're a woman, you speaking respectable and you hold yourself in integrity and honor, you know what I mean? Real men are gonna see that. And you're gonna attract those type of men. You know what I mean? I done seen some of the most, not so attractive women attract certain men because they know how to be feminine and they know when to turn to feminine on, and they know when to attract men through the conversation and by the way that they move and by the way they do things, right? And this is not a woman that's an 8 or 10, right? She ain't on that type of level. But who she is an 8 or a 10, completely, the whole package, because of what she offers. I've seen the same thing for men, right? They may not be an 8 and a 10 in certain areas, but they're 8 and a 10 completely because of who they are. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to game, when it comes to knowing how to talk, that's all about just your character. You know what I mean? If your character is lacking, then your talking points are going to be lacking. You know what I mean? That just shows that you need work on you, whether you're a man or a woman, because there's certain women that don't know how to speak to a man. You know what I mean? You meet a woman, you know what I mean? You're being a gentleman, you're being respectable. You know what I'm saying? She see that, she see you got the jewelry on, you dress a certain way, you got the shades, you chilling, you approach her, right? You know what I mean? She see that you're a man of a certain value and a certain ethnic and a certain stature, right? You approach her. Man, she say 2 words, you like, I can't rock with her. And she may look good, man. She may be super attractive. But she'll say 2 words. You know what I mean? She'll say a full sentence. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say more than 2 words. She'll say a full sentence, and you be like, I can't rock with her. If I rock with her, she's gonna bring me more harm than good. You know what I mean? So it's about overall character. That's what it's really about. You know what I mean? It's the same thing for men. When you approach a woman, you have your masculine energy, your masculine frame, everything's good, everything's rocking out, right? Man, you say the wrong word or two, you know what I mean? And now this woman's completely turned off. Completely turned off. Because she sees your character. She sees who you are. You know what I'm saying? So men who don't know how to talk to women or women don't know how to talk to men, that's a character issue. You know what I mean? You gotta get your character right. Confidence comes from character. If my character right, I got confidence, right? Because I know who I am now. I know what I represent. I'm not trying to put on a show. I'm not trying to impress people because I know that I'm not for everybody, right? The great KS, when he was talking about the high value man, he was talking about a specific man that was not for every woman. You know what I'm saying? Certain women thought it was for them, and that's just what they thought. That was in their mind, and that was a sense of delusion, right? But it wasn't for them. You know what I'm saying? It was just for certain women who fit that mold to be able to get that man. And if you didn't fit that mold,
for every man,
and it wasn't for every man either. Like you, exactly, bro.
That's where the delusion for some men was saying. He said you got to do this. He said no. This is the criteria and the parameters for a high value man. But you don't need to be a high value man to be a productive man.
Exactly.
Successful man. That's what I'm saying. People get hung up on the words. High value this, high value this. He didn't create that. He just did a certain framework around it.
Yes.
It ain't for everybody.
It ain't for everybody. And that's the thing. When you have character. No, bro, you cool. When you have character, you're not gonna be for everybody. You're just not. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can stay at an Embassy Suites. It's not for everybody. You know what I mean? Or we will all be there.
I'm just popping in to give
I'm
just popping in 84 just to thank you so much, because you have to have common sense. And I learned that as a woman from you guys. From you men, excuse me. But if it wasn't for you telling me things and teaching me and helping me with my boo-hoos and stuff, I had to understand that you don't have to give your information out. It's for people to uh it's for them to gain your trust. And with me, I was, my dad's a Muslim minister. My dad's a Muslim minister and everything. And I was bred to be in arranged marriages. I shouldn't have to tell anybody, especially at my, ripe age. I'm in my 50s and everything. But going through that, it's a different time. I can't use the Albert Einstein way of dating in today's time. And 84, if it wasn't for you, saying to, know your worth, respect yourself. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you cannot invest in yourself, don't expect somebody else to. Don't expect a man to be a decent person if you cannot invest in yourself and show them, hey, I'm not an ignorant woman. I'm not a thought. I go out, say I don't have abundance on. You have to invest in yourself, because if you have standards and requirement, please understand that person does too. Yes. So thank you, 84. I appreciate me a lot better because of, M3 and you and Be Easy. I certain things, if it's not meant to be, it's not. You can wish on a star, act like you watching a Disney movie. It's not any, Pretty Princess or the Little Mermaid or whatever. This is real life. So you have to have a mature mentality in order to be with mature people. You want to be, baby and boo-boo and, crying and this and that. You have a right to cry. But when it comes down to be, no strong man want a jellyback woman either. I love the term jellyback. But a strong man should want, a strong woman too. Baby, yes. It's okay. You made a mistake, but come on, let's go ahead. We got to do this. We got to rock and roll and everything. You got to represent that man just like he want to represent you. Yes. So I applaud you all. I just had to come up here and personally thank you all. Still in my 50s and still learning and everything or whatever. But one thing that I make sure that I don't do, if a person want to dog my ass out, I'm not going to look back. I'm not going to stare. I'm just going to keep going forward, because one thing that I do know that I hear a lot of us women do is to bring that old McDonald bag with the grease stains or whatever and tell a man, look, he did this, he did that, he did that, he did that. My thing is, I don't care, you grown, I shouldn't have to teach you stuff or whatever, but I'm not going to spend the first 8 days and hour trying to get to know each other hearing about your ex.
But here's the thing, Lady Sophia, right? Here's the thing, right? This is the thing. When you are moving forward, right? This is the thing. As you expand and grow in your character, your circle does get smaller. It does. The dating pool will get smaller for you. It's supposed to, because you're only supposed to attract the quality people. You're not supposed to attract everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not for everybody. Not everybody is able to basically take in what you're given as far as your character. So of course, certain people are gonna be irritated by you, because when your light shines the brightest, some people are gonna run from that light. They don't want no parts of it. You know what I mean? And they can't stand to be in that light. It's like you ever seen when the light hit the vampire and the vampire start melting and all that? That's what happens to them people. They start melting through the light because they can't take it. You know what I mean? And that's just the facts. So we got to get to, and shout out to Tina Tattles. Good to see you, sister. You know what I mean? And that's just a natural fact. You know what I mean? We just got to get to the point, and I'm gonna just say the last point. We just got to get to the point we understand that as we level up, right? Our options will start to get smaller as far as the quality, because quality people are not easy to find. They're not easy to be around. You know what I mean? If that was the case, then we all be able to just sit at a local McDonald's with Bill Gates every day of the week. That's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You have to be in certain realms, and certain spaces, and certain places to be around certain people. And it's the same thing when it comes to meeting the right person. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Once you level up, you're only going to be around those who are on that level, or you should want to be around those that are on that level and above. Anybody that's going to bring your character below that, you don't even have time for them, because they're wasting your time. They're just going to make you level down. You don't have time to level down. I'm not even talking about money. I'm talking about character. You never ever level down when it comes to your character. That's all I gotta say.
Well,
You
I
go ahead.
appreciate I appreciate all of you all because I sometimes certain people, and I say everybody need that tough love. Old boy was a surgeon, and you know what I'm saying, that was nice and everything. I've never had, you know what I'm saying, since I've gotten older, a Pookie or a Ray Ray or something like that or whatever. But if you know what I'm saying, when it all boiled down, if a person is cool and they can is respect and you can laugh, your money ain't gonna be there to wipe my head if I have COVID or you know what I'm saying, do this and that. I want somebody who will have my back and I'll have their back and everything. I don't mind, you know what I'm saying, because sometimes things happen. If you turn around and get robbed or carjacked or whatever, I'm not gonna turn around and let you, you know what I'm saying, hurt and be suffered. If I am your woman, if I'm your plaything or whatever, I tell you, shit, go ask your boy. Go do this, go do y'all shoot ball and everything. I won't turn around and use certain things to hurt you. You black men have been hurt enough. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to lift you up and win with you. So I appreciate you all giving me the tough love that I needed to hear because it's going to make me a better woman.
Well, we're all here to try to be better people. I'm for sure that the people that who come in the chat, the entire crew of knowledge and relationships, we're learning our own selves as well. Nobody don't want to be stagnant in life. Nobody don't want to be like, complacent. We all have like a goal, a common goal, and I think it's advancements. Whether it be advancements, achievements, whatever the case is, I think as far as advancing into your life to being the best version of ourselves as much as possible, that is pretty much, I think, the ultimate goal for most and the most healthiest goal as far as in your mindset. Um, Run Rails Black says, Miss Sophia, I hear you, sister. Thank you for sharing. And Tina Tato says, right. They definitely agree. There was something I was gonna mention because it was something that Mr. Besson said, and he definitely had a good point. And then right then, I always hate this because that's why, like, if I'm not writing no notes, and then we talk about something else, I'm gonna easily forget. But
Yeah,
I think
gotta write the notes. That be happening with me too because it was a bunch of points I forgot. But let me just make one quick point, and maybe you'll remember your point because it was to expound on something Mr. Best said.
Yeah.
Also, what I often hear people say is, I say, this is why, since he brought up KS, another thing that he would do that is not something that was exclusive to KS, that there were other things that other people have done before and after him. And a lot of people attribute it, to KS because maybe he did it better or more effectively. But the rating system, right? We have got to stop acting so bratty, delusional, and entitled over the rating system. It sucks, right? Oh, I have to be rated and ranked, or does it really suck, right? See, this is the thing. People have no problem being ranked when they got a 4.0 GPA. They like, look, straight A's, straight A's. That was a ranking. You had no problem with that ranking. But now when it comes to beauty, don't rank me. Only God could judge me. Huh? You just judged this other person, but now only God can judge you. You had no issues with rankings. When you're a valedictorian, that's a top ranking. If you're at a job and someone is an employee, someone is a supervisor, someone is an assistant manager, someone is the store manager, guess what? That's a ranking system. So why are we acting like we don't understand that? Then if you say, hey, is this 5'8" dude ranked higher than this? A 5'8" dude that's chiseled, is he ranked on the same level as a 6'4" dude that's chiseled? Ask women, they gonna say, I'm gonna go with the tall dude and give him a higher ranking. But then when somebody says, hey, what's your ranking or your average at best, suddenly it's an issue. When you look at yourself and say, hey, you know what, I'm average. And then I'll say, all right, you're average. How dare you call me average? Like, you look average, you know that you're average. But since when did being average become a slur, right? Or a derogatory term, especially when you know that you're average, you know? And if you are above average, you know, that doesn't mean that you know, you're a dime or whatever, you know, you still are rated. You may be a, if average is 5, you can be above average and be a 6. You're above average. So what are you mad about? Oh, I should be an 8 or 9. No, you're just a 6. You're above average. Be happy with that. But see, people have no issues with ranking. They have an issue with where they're actually ranked, right? They want to rank
Mm-hmm.
themselves as 9s and 10s. But and when I tell you, and Mr. Best and someone else tells you that you're a 6, now you say that we're misogynist. No, I just believe that you're a 6. If I told you to rank me, you probably would call me a 6. And I could say, nah, I'm probably an 8 or 9. But realistically, the market is say, hey, I'm probably a 6 or 7. I just got to deal with that, right? But what we do when I'm talking about the rankings, that's only applying to beauty, right? But the ranking system is supposed to encompass everything, your character, how you treat people. What is the point of having a non cooperative, unsubmissive 9, right? She's the gorgeous chick that you ever seen with and never been, but she treats you like a bottom, right? She treats you like a beta. Why would you want that? You know what I mean? So sometimes we put too much on looks and act like that's the end all
Mm-hmm.
be all for the ranking system. No, that's part of the ranking system. It's just like if you're looking at a power forward and
It's
you
not
say
the
he
only
grabs a lot of
part.
rebounds, he's a great forward. What else does he
Mm-hmm.
do? Could he score, or does he only grab rebounds? Is she only, does she cook, or does she only look good? You know what I mean? So we need to be more accurately accessing
Mm-hmm.
the ranking system. Don't only put it on looks. Looks is a part of the ranking system. If you look beautiful but can't cook, or you have a bad character, or or a cheater, or morally deficient, how can I rank you as a 10? Yeah, she's fine, but she cheated on me. I'ma still rank her a 10. Not in my book.
And see, be easy, and that's the problem. Like with us, like in our ranking system compared to theirs. See, they don't have a problem ranking us for our overall aesthetics, okay, our overall quality. All right, what can we provide? How we look? How tall we are? You know, could we cook? Could we clean? You know, they rank us based off of all these criterias in order for us to even meet to the bare minimum. But if we're only ranking them based off of looks, then this is where we're at. This is where things are, where we lead, and they follow. So we lead based off of how they look, and we're judging them. So they don't have to bring anything else but their looks. So they don't even have to be smart. They don't have to be charismatic. Hell, they don't even have to be talented. All they need to do is just be blessed with a beautiful body, or take care of it. You know what I mean? And that's where I feel like guys need to have that reformed shape of mind. So when you have people like the late great KS that has a ranking system, probably based off of research that he dug up to, you know what I mean? They get upset because now it's like you're challenging them, their overall quality and mindset. And it's like, how dare you make me even think for myself? Think about these things. I don't need to do anything. All I need to do is just be attractive looking, and then that's it. And have a good box for the man that will be pleasing to him. And that's about it. So, you know, we gotta start, like I said, we gotta start respecting ourselves to the point where we need to analyze like the things that we're messing up on, and analyzing the things that these other women are giving out to us. You want respect, so look, men, we always desire respect, but respect is earned, it's not given. They're not going to give you respect for free. No free 99 here. Okay? You gotta earn that type of respect. So the same way that you walk up to your homeboys and you do whatever it takes to earn their respect as a man, you got to do the same thing for women as well too, because they don't mind telling you how it is and their standards. I think that was the part I was making. You know, we got to start setting our standards as we grow as men. Okay, we got to eliminate expectations and start creating standards. Okay? See, the thing is, but I know it's hard for a lot of men to create standards because you're afraid that the moment you start expressing standards, then you will lose that particular woman, which then it lowers your standards and then it creates expectations. And then next thing you know, you're doing all these other things, reforming yourself for the woman and not really changing for you. If this is the case, right, make the woman change for you as opposed to you changing for the woman. If that really helps, okay? But a lot of men are not going to do that. And this is what truly differentiates between the high value man on that side and then the regular Joe Schmoes on that side. Okay? You don't have to have $1 million or where it be high value. Have that high value mentality, your mindset. Do you not value yourself? If you don't, it's okay. Just say, you know what? I feel like I'm worthless. I don't value myself. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to win women over. But just know you're not going to win their respect.
I love that M3. I love it. I actually have 2 degrees, but on somebody else's platform, there was a guy who said, "So, Sophia, I'm Nigerian Egyptian," and I was like, "You're my brother for real?" Because I don't run across people who are Nigerian Egyptian, and he literally laughed. He was like, "You are so naive." He was a guy from Ghana. Now, I'm not going to say I shoot down people from Ghana and everything, but I'm like, I have 2 degrees, you know what I'm saying? I've worked in hospitals before, but, you know what I'm saying? What I portray myself to be is not going to show those degrees and everything. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, so I have a lot to learn. I have to pretty much deprogram the way that I was raised up and like, I, you know, see how I am, you know what I'm saying, today and at work, I work at an insurance place, and I'm known as the cue card girl. I'm like, okay, well, I'm a decent 4 or 5, but that's what they see me as, like a bobblehead. I'm like, I'm not even blonde, but I have let something off from me to where they're cool with even, you know, saying it and don't give a damn about my opinion. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, I'm not stupid. I'll be quiet and say stuff or whatever, and I'll speak when I feel like as though, you know, it's cool, but I have to, you know, to deprogram myself to where I can get that respect. And nobody's going to give me that respect unless I portray myself as a woman who's not a jellyback.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
So I appreciate what you said. You have to, boy, y'all, and it's hard. It's harder than what you can think it is. I'm like, I'm in my 50s. My kids are 23 and 30. And sometimes, you know, and they're like, Mom, you know what I'm saying? You can't, you know, Mom, you have to, Mom, do this and stuff like that. Stop having people think you're naive. And so my thing is, when your 23-year-old and your 30-year-old is saying that, everybody can't be lying. So, you know what I'm saying? It's Lola in Princess K said, nothing wrong with being submissive. You just can't be submissive to everybody. And what I was doing was being submissive to, if there was a man, I'm going to damn near roll out the red carpet because that's how I was bred. That's how my dad raised me to do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't look up unless you're spoken to and everything or whatever. You know what I'm saying? When I will say that Black Muslims versus, you know what I'm saying, African Muslims are completely different in my opinion. But so we don't question anything. I don't even think I could probably one time I asked my dad it was a question, and that was the only time that I asked and everything. I don't mind it, but I'm in a completely different country. And even though I've been here for the majority of my life, if you're sheltered and that's all that that's what you're gonna do. So I appreciate the different season and flavor.
Lady Sophia, let me say this. I don't think. Here's the thing. I think you should always remain submissive and feminine. Just like I believe a man should always lead and be masculine, right? But here's the
Yes, sir.
thing. Everybody requires respect, and everybody should have standards, both men and women, right? But it has to be different for the way they approach it is different for both, right?
Hmm.
For a woman, right? When a man approaches you, right? If he does not, right? If he does not tell you his intentions immediately, right? You know what I'm saying? And he does not have a plan for when y'all are supposed to, get together or meet up, and he's not putting that plan into action. You need to completely stop communicating with them all together. You know what I mean? On the flip side, right? You know what I'm saying? If a woman is not making her intentions clear, and she's not respecting the fact that you have a plan and that you're putting into action, you need to stop talking to her completely. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be where both are being respected and you both have standards. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to entertain somebody who doesn't have respect and standards. I'm not going to do it, right? And they shouldn't entertain me if I don't have respect and standards. You know what I mean? It has to be on both ends. But it's just done. It's just it looks differently for men and women. Also for women too. You know what I'm saying? Don't if you're gonna be with certain men or you're gonna entertain certain men intimately, you know what I'm saying? Understand, as I always say, what bracket they're in. You know what I mean? Where are they in your life? Is this a husband material? Is this boyfriend material? Is this friend with benefits? Is this just your friend or is this an associate? Same thing with men. Is this woman wifey material? Is she girlfriend material? Is she friends with benefits? Is she a friend or is she an associate? You have to put people where they belong in your life. Okay? Stop putting people where they do not belong. Men and women both have this problem. For the women, what happens to you is that you go 3, 4, 5 years. Now you got about 3, 4, 5 kids, right? And you may not even know who the baby's fathers is for all these kids. You know what I mean? Because emotionally, you know what I mean, and physically and spiritually and all this, you've been linked to so many people and you opened yourself up to so many people that you are just completely damaged. You know what I'm saying? Now for a man, right? You done been about you done did the Will Chamberlain thing. You done been with about 100 different women. You done been doing this and doing your thing and living life, right? And you've been getting money and all that, but yet you haven't taken the time to really work on your character as a man. You haven't taken time to really adjust and do things. You've just been working hard and making money. Trust me, I've been there. So now you're not making your doctor's appointments like you need to be making them. You're not doing certain things to make sure that you are fully in check, completely as a man. You know what I'm saying? So now you done been through all these different women. You know what I'm saying? Or you've been through different experiences with women, whether they were good or bad, but you haven't worked on the quality of life for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So now you're damaged and you're messed up because you haven't worked on the quality of life for yourself. Both men and women, in order to have quality relationships, they have to work on the quality of life for themselves, right? A woman has to work on her quality and her standards and her value as a woman, and a man has to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way the relationship is going to be healthy. If I'm only working on myself and a woman ain't never working on herself, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. If she's always working on herself and I'm not working on myself, it's not going to work. It's not. You know what I'm saying? You got to bring something to it just as well as I got to bring something to it. You know what I mean? It's not all on me and it ain't all on you. It's a collective. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what we really got to strive for, man. You know what I mean? Men and women both need to have better standards. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're a dude, you shouldn't be having 3 or 4 baby mamas, man. You shouldn't, bro. What's going on? Like you can't even really afford to take care of yourself. Let's be honest. But now you got 3 or 4 baby mamas. What's really going on?
My problem is be easy. Be easy caused all of this drama for me. I don't want a white man. I don't want a Middle Eastern. I want a black man. And
And
see,
that's
Be
fine.
Easy started that and everything.
Hmm.
But see, the only thing that's coming towards me are the Middle Eastern. And I love you. I don't want to stay in Dubai. I don't want to go anywhere or whatever. So and I understand the tradition because again, my father was a Muslim minister. I don't want no white
Hmm.
man. I think Be Easy was the one who said, well, why not be with a black man? And I was like, I really want to. It's just that certain times I just don't speak up. And I would worship a black man. It's just that for some reason I'm attracting what I'm not attracted to. And
Well,
I don't know how to fix that.
like I said, Lady Sophia, as you could, because right now you are a quality type of woman, right? Now, because you're quality type of woman, you have different experiences. You've been through different life. You raised your kids. You know what I'm saying? You know what life is about. You know how to live life. You know how to take care of yourself, right?
And I'm not
Because
a
of that.
thought. I haven't slept with
No, no, no,
anybody
no,
in
no. Hold
like
on,
two
hold
and a
on.
half years. Look,
No, no,
because
no, no,
I'm
lady.
disciplined. I know how to
No,
discipline myself.
Lady Sophia. That's what I'm saying. Because you're moving in a certain way, right? You are going to attract the quality of men that you are moving toward, right? And a lot of times with men of color, sometimes not with all of us, but some of us, we have to mature and get to certain levels. A lot of us grew up with our fathers. A lot of us grew up with different traumas. We've been through different things, right? So we have to get to that point where we are able to meet where you're at. A lot of men are not able to meet where you're at. I'm just gonna be honest. A lot of men of color, they're not able to meet that. You know what I mean? There's some that are able to, but not all. So with that being said, Lady Sophia, I think, you know what I'm saying, you will find that quality brother that you're looking for. It's just gonna take some time. Just like if it's a brother, he's a quality man. It's going to take him time to meet a certain quality woman. It's just natural facts. You know what I'm saying? If you want a certain quality person that you truly want to be, when you truly are like, man, like I want this type of quality person, blah, 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 blah. You think that's everybody? No, that's not everybody. It's not everyone. You know what I mean? Not everyone is the same, is for everybody. You know what I mean? It's just a point blank period. And not everybody is meant to be in a relationship with you. They're just not. You know what I mean? So because you have certain expectations, you have certain standards, guess what? You're going to attract, those people who fit that. And you will meet a brother that fits that'll fit that. Trust me, I'm telling you, you will meet that brother. You will. You know what I mean? It's just a process. We got to be willing to go through the process. It's not going to happen overnight for neither men or women. It's not going to happen overnight. You know what I mean? A great basketball theory was trust the process, right? I heard that from the 76ers, right? But definitely in life too, you got to trust the process. That's a real thing. You
Thank
got to
you.
trust
I
the process.
appreciate that.
What if
I
what if what if
appreciate that.
what if Steve Jobs would have gave up immediately? M3 loves Steve Jobs, right? Big Steve Jobs fan. What if Steve Jobs would have just gave up? Right? His first invention, his first trial, he would say, you know what, man, I give up. Now we don't even have Apple. No iPhone, no iMac, no nothing. Right? We have nothing that has anything to do with Apple. If he just would give up. You know what I mean? Jay-Z, right? He got turned down by every label, right? And I'm not saying that these men are men who just are perfect men or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm using an example to say that if you want to strive for something, it's going to take you multiple attempts. It's not going to happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? With Jay-Z, he was turned down by literally every record label. You know what I mean? But he kept pursuing what he wanted to go after. And that's what life is. You're going to have to keep pushing forward and keep trying until you get to where you need to get to. And that's life. So yeah.
Thank you.
So with that being said, right, we are
family.
going to get to our intermission, and we are going to promote a few things. So we're going to go ahead and first, because StreamYard is StreamYard. All right. Let's go ahead with our intermission so we can encourage, our viewers to make sure that you guys comment, on our videos after when the show's over. But keep in mind, the show is not over. But anyways, let's go ahead and play it. And we are back. So, this is why we're playing this intermission for you guys, because we want to constantly remind everyone to please make sure that you guys help support our live streams. I know some people did ask, how can you guys be like a contribution to us? You could be a contribution in many different ways that are free without even the need to donate. You can like our videos. You can share our videos to your friends, family, and other people in your social circle. Because right now we are in a road to try to get 1,000 subscribers and beyond. We're not stopping at 1,000, but that will be a major stepping stone if you guys can help us. And when I mean guys, I mean guys and ladies as well too. And so, with that, I also want to say too, make sure that you guys check out some of our other channels under the Knowledge and Relationships umbrella. We have the Intellectual Soapbox. We also have DJ Eddie King. Be Easy, that dude also has a YouTube channel that's up and coming, and he will be producing videos very soon. And even me myself, I have my own channel as well too, M3 TV Network. Even though it's supposed to be all about me, but lately I've been doing a lot of celebrity reactions. So, pretty soon we will be posting the links under the chat, so you guys can take the time to kind of click, subscribe, and then return back here. But
oh yeah, we can't forget Big Rick Slaps.
Oh, Big Rick Slaps. Oh,
follow him on IG. I think he also has a YouTube as well. Also, Q Spot Podcast. Look for her on different social media. That's Q Bella. You know what I mean? She's the main host of Ladies Night, and she also does conversations on Intellectual Soapbox. And also, we can't forget, man.
We forget
our very intellectual sister. You know what I'm saying? Who brings that fire on a Friday nights, man?
Oh man,
Lola, aka Miss Oshun. Okay, all right, Miss Devil's Advocate herself.
Mr. Best, man, I might need your help to start posting some of these links in the chat if you can.
Man, I'm gonna try. You know what I mean? I'm kind of getting my food on right now. But check her out on The Real Serious B. You know what I mean, on YouTube, and also Average at Best on YouTube. Okay. You know what I mean? Definitely
and First
check her
Lady
out.
Tammy also.
Yes, please also, you know what I mean, follow First Lady Tammy. You know what I mean, at First Lady Tammy 916 on Instagram, and also catch her here on Knowledge Relations. And also the book club is coming back every other Tuesday. You know, excuse me, alongside Be Easy and Riggs. You know what I mean? And lastly, also, you know what I mean, we also want to give a shout out to Knowledge Relationships own, also a close family member of ours. You know what I mean? She has some things that is in the works a little bit. You know what I mean? That she's kind of helping us out with as a family. Want to give a special shout out to OG Patrice. You know what I mean? Shout out to OG Patrice. Much love to her as well. So,
all right.
And shout out to Sister Sunny. You know what I mean? I see you, Sister Sunny. Don't tell the people. Subscribe to that channel as well on YouTube.
Yes, definitely. She talks about a lot of political activities. Look, a lot of things, man. I can't even really keep up. So I just come humbly just to listen, because I know nothing about politics, unfortunately. So to that high degree, that is. So yeah, definitely, follow. Don't tell me, tell the people. I mean, subscribe, that is. You can also follow on IG as well too.
Very classy woman, very knowledgeable. You will not regret following her. Very knowledgeable.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you for because we have a lot of people that are supporting Knowledge and Relationships. So I never want to forget anyone, and please forgive me for just forgetting some of the names, because it's a lot of we do a whole lot. Trust me, behind the scenes, this is just not about us just clicking going live. We're actually making our own videos, making our own music, doing other content, making thumbnails, quality thumbnails. Speaking of quality thumbnails, I got some quality thumbnails going forward that you will see, and it will be even more professional. And I'm still working on it to try to give you guys the best I can, and the best that we can as a team, as a group, even with our ladies' night and all that. But, anyways, Lady Sophia, I want to get back to you because this is what I was going to tell you, and this time I made sure I wrote it in my notes so I don't forget. So, quality attracts quality. Unfortunately, okay, the things that you value may not fit. Hold on, sorry. Unfortunately, you value things that may not fit that mold where. Oh, sorry. That may not fit in that mold where you're located at. There we go. That may not fit in the mold where you're located at, especially like in a black community. And I'm not saying that black folks, black men are poor in quality, but it probably explains like the mindset and the way how like you have a certain direction, only because unfortunately like in our community we didn't really grow up with nuclear family homes. So the Middle Easterns, some of the Europeans, and other people from foreign countries, they grew up with family values. They grew up respecting, and they had traditions. Even like the Egyptians, the Nigerians, and all that. So it's just American folks, so like in our country, because we haven't really grew up around those type of nuclear environments, is not like, oh, something's wrong with you, or they have a hatred towards you. It's just that they're not compatible with you, and so it's just kind of beyond some expectations. But you will be able to meet someone. Now, I'm not going to give you this BS that our first lady will always say. There's always someone for everyone, because no, it's not. Because there's always incels that don't get no one. Period. But, however, in due time, you just have to be patient, and hopefully, God will bless you with someone that actually have those type of values, but are African American or just whatever that you desire. But I think, but then here's the funny kicker, right? Because I'm just now saying that. And I would never encourage no one to settle if that's not their desire. But just know that sometimes the folks that value your values the most, unfortunately, are not your people. And this is the choice. It's like, this is probably the actual choice that God has really given you. I'm not, like I said, I'm not encouraging you to not date a black person. And I'm not saying black men are poor in quality. But in your area, the ones that you're encountering, it seems like, okay, this is the one that you really want, but they don't value or they don't understand the nuclear family system. So then it's like you're torn apart from that because they're not respecting you. But then you have the other side where it's like, I could relate to family values. Like, I respect it. I want a wife. They'll do all these things, just because you have that type of ideology and they see you as a really good, wholesome, traditional woman. And to them, it's probably rare, but they're not black. So it's like the choice is yours. You may not even going to get those two options. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to just be honest with you. See, I'm not going to give you no fairy tale lies, Sophia. I'm just going to be honest with you. These are probably the two choices that you're going to probably get before the day that you fly away. So you can hold on and wait and try to combine the two, get yourself a black man that has those family values, because there is someone that's out there, but he may not be out there for you. And that's the reality that you have to sit down and ask yourself, okay, do I want someone who is black and fine, but that's going to treat me nasty, or maybe I will settle for someone who's not on my level as far as like the connection wise, but then he's gonna give me like the best experience of my life. He's gonna really treat me like how I should be treated. That's all.
I appreciate that. I actually there was
So,
somebody who, and I'm embarrassed to say, but it's a entertainer. I'll just put it that way. And his people reached out to me, and I was like, Are y'all not seeing me?" First of all, I'm old. I don't like younger people. No offense, I just don't. I don't prefer it. Even if you are nice, even if you're everything or whatever. My kids are 23 and 30. So if you're 30ish, no. But so the person came, but they're white, and I was like, that's okay. That's okay. If my dad was here, of course that wouldn't even happen, because
right,
I
right.
really respect that. And he could be 80, I could be, well, which my dad, if he still would be living, he would be in his 90s. And I would never question him. I would, whatever he said. He did pass out when I got married to an American man, and had my daughter, but he loved my daughter to death. And so he grew to like certain things or whatever, but certain things just not, it's just not gonna be for me. And I do agree with that and everything or whatever, but I'm gonna also take Mr. 84's advice and just wait. I mean, it's just it's a lot of stuff that happen, and sometimes when you turn around and bite at everything that comes your way or whatever, you're gonna confuse yourself. Nobody wants to be with a woman who's talked to so many different people. So I have to value y'all's opinion. I have to value what I read in the chat and everything, and grow off of everybody. Probably not the entire thing, but I'm growing off of all of you all. Right now, I just need to find myself and not be a bobblehead or a cue card girl. And I just appreciate the respect. I can't get it in other places, but I can definitely get it here. So I thank y'all.
No problem. Real quick, I gotta give a salute to Mr. Real Estate in the building.
Salute,
Man,
salute, bro.
Mr. Real Estate, if you could come out real quick, man, feel free to do so. I will definitely drop the link to you, man. But definitely good seeing you. And yeah, I wish I could have, joined your stream, but I gotta go where home is at for now. But yes, I know you probably had an interesting one too, though. So we gotta do something in the future, definitely. How old is the sister? Speaking of, if I may ask, that's up to you, Sophia.
I, I'm in my 50s. I'm in my 50s. My kids are 23 and 30. I'm towards the earlier 50 and everything. So
Let's see. Me have donuts. OMG. I wish I was sober. Have some prime advice to help Sophia so much, seeing I've dated women raised the same way countless times. I mean, you could give your advice in the chat, if that helps. You're not that drunk to comment. And then for anybody that would like to come up, definitely help us with the cam to no cam ratio. But you know what? Look, I'm not even tripping about the whole cam thing right now, because I'm having a good time right now. But it would be nice to see people come up here and cam up. But for now, I'm loving it, because you guys are definitely having good answers, good questions. That's helping us in our live stream. So I would love to hear everybody's voices.
Absolutely. I
Mm-hmm.
actually, hold on. I wanted to go back to, I know Me Have a Donut said something way back. He said this.
Mm-hmm. You can
I mean,
start if you
no
want to.
text sounds
Mm-hmm.
good. A
Mm-hmm.
little, you know. I miss the days when you can just ride your bike over to a friend instead of messaging for weeks to schedule stuff. The reason
Man.
why I like that is because it's true. Like, we come into a point where, let's be honest, people speak fluent Japanese, and one of their, Japanese rhetoric lines is that I'm busy. I didn't have the time. We're all busy, right? No one has time. You
Mm-hmm.
create the time. I don't have time to be on this stream right now. I created the time. Mr. Best M3, they reach out to me. I create the time. You know what I mean? Sometimes my time is
Mm-hmm.
at 9. I'm like, hey, bro, sorry, I got to push it back. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
when you're scheduling things, hey, let's go to Great America in 2 weeks. When it's like, bro, I could have just rode my bike. We could have played some video games, read some comic books the same day. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
2 weeks, then when the 2 weeks comes, it's like, hey, it's that day for us to kick it, M3. Oh, my bad. I completely forgot about it. I already scheduled some other stuff. So even when you schedule these tentative meetings in 2 weeks in advance, a lot of times people don't really hold up to it. They say, "Oh, I had something else." Like, bro, we planned this 2 weeks ago. That's actually disrespectful for you to come up with something different. But when it comes to the bikes, or just pulling up on each other, but I mean, it's not the same now because now you can't just pull up at my house, bro. Don't just come unannounced. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what people's intentions is. If you good and you fam, that's different. I'm just talking about random acquaintances, right? Don't just say, "Oh, M3 lives over here." I'll just not, "Oh man, I seen you on Knowledge and Relationships, seen the car parked. I figure it was cool." Don't do that. You know what I mean? Don't do that. You know what I mean? It used
Mm-hmm.
to be, if you fam, you can come through. But I think it is respectful to say, "Hey, M3, you at the house?" Because even if you are at the house, what if he's Netflixing and chilling with his wife and I come banging on the door? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that we do need to be able to pull up on each other more often and not just say, "Hey, M3, let's link for lunch next month." Like, bro, you're not even doing that. You're not even doing nothing for 2 weeks. Why are you scheduling this a month away? And then when that month comes, it's like, "Oh, I already planned something with the wifey." Like, bro, why we even make plans if we're not going to hold on to it? So as kids, we used to be a lot more sporadic, right? You want to ride bikes, you want to go to the pool, you call me, let's do it today. We don't say, "Hey, you want to go to the pool? Sure, let's do it in 2 weeks." You know what I mean? So I do appreciate that. Well, I did appreciate that. Now we just rely on too much tech to
Mm-hmm.
to plan, but a lot of those plans don't come into fruition because people say, "I was busy." And when you figure out what they were busy doing, all they were doing was posting and
Mm-hmm.
watching Netflix and
Mm-hmm.
versus battles.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick. Yeah, everybody. Shout outs to Misunderstood. Maybe some of y'all don't really know who she is, but she's a really big YouTuber. Um, I'll let you guys like look her up. Just type in like Misunderstood, MISS and Understood on YouTube. She's a really sweet person. Um, she's in the sober community, well, sobriety community. But anyways, just give her like a subscribe. Tell Naj relationships. Since you guys here, and definitely support her channel, man, because she's an awesome person. Most of the people who are here, came from Misunderstood's channel, and they're here to support us. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I greatly appreciate you guys from rocking with us, from the early on, and just keep, just supporting. So, and we're getting close. We're getting close, like to our 1,000 subscribers. So, as Nightbot is saying, please like, share their videos, and give your support as well. So, definitely.
And
But
I agree
be
with you. Me have a
mm-hmm,
donut. A lot of cats say they busy, and they are
mm-hmm,
busy. Busy circle jerking. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Jerkonomics. That's what these people are doing. Jerkology. You're a jerk. 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 That's what they doing. Um,
right, right.
but yeah, when you say tech somewhat destroyed real bonds in this world, I would say omit the somewhat. They absolutely have destroyed real bonds. That's which is why you always, when people refer to dating, they always talk about social media, Bumble, Tinder, all of these things. When you have people like Von Bryan, Mr. Bass M3, who have met their lovely spouses not due to social media. So, yes, there are social media success stories, but you know what? There was a time where iPhones didn't exist and people still had successful marriages. Imagine this when you grew up. M3, I don't think you grew up with an iPhone. Well, weren't you still able to have fun in the neighborhood? Bro, we were riding bikes, jump roping. Girls were doing double dutch, writing chalk on the ground. People was playing marbles, jacks, pogs, tetherball, water guns. None of these have anything to do with technology. You know what I mean? So there are ways to have fun. There are ways to build. There are ways to connect that doesn't only rely on technology. A lot of people are tech whores. You know what I mean? You're really whoring yourself out on the technology and social media platforms, but also you're a slave to that. You know what I mean? You're literally a slave to your phone or whatever technological device that keeps you distracted. And cool, if you want to be on your device all the time, that's good, bro. If you're making money
Mm-hmm.
off of it, but if you procrastinating the whole time and saying that you're busy and then you're also broke, I ain't trying to hear that.
That's
Right,
too
right.
funny. Computers came out,
But you
I
know
think, when
what?
I was getting ready to leave school.
Since
So this is so
we don't got
funny.
too much time left, let's just run through a couple things because we can go. Shout out to Mr. Glucose. That gentleman is a very smart young man.
Mm-hmm.
And Tina Tattles, I dig this chat. We dig you too, Tina. You feel free to come up anytime. But we can go on about the delusion. And we may have to revisit this. And I think we will also revisit the surviving the recession and do another one of this. But let's just get in straight into it because when it's talking about surviving a recession, a lot of these tips that you'll hear from me, M3, and others, a lot of these things are what's called common sense. But common sense is not so common. It's also just like practical and pragmatic measures. Some of these things is like, oh, I thought of that. Man, you ain't telling me nothing new. Well, it doesn't matter if I give M3 a tip and he say, I already knew that. Well, if you already knew that, why aren't you doing it? And then you just hear crickets, right? So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
reiterating something that you already know that you should be doing. So it's one of the dumbest and idiotic things when someone gives you advice and you say, I already know that, but you haven't done it. That makes it even worse. You know the advice that's gonna progress you, that's gonna help you succeed, that's gonna make your life better. You know it, but you didn't do it. And when someone tells you, you say, I already know. That doesn't make you look smart, doesn't make you look profound or astute in any way. So get it together. But in terms of the recession, we can kind of just chop it up, but I'll just run through a couple things like
Mm-hmm.
minimalism, right? Y'all know what that is. We need to practice it not only a little more, a lot more. And there's simple things. First of all, stop buying bottled water. Oh, you don't want to stop buying water. So then recycle them. Oh, I don't have time to recycle. Which one is it? Are you going to stop buying bottled water that's costing you excess money that you don't need to buy? Or are you going to recycle that money? Oh, it's not even that much. Well, when you let's say invested in crypto, it wasn't that much, right? You invested what, a couple dollars, a couple cents. The last time I took some recycles, I got $50. Anybody that sees $50 on the ground is going to pick it up and go home with it. So why are you acting like $50 is just chump change? And that was just me just randomly doing it. If you really want to turn it into a hustle, put some club gloves, put some dusty clothes on, hit hit up all of your elementaries, hit up the colleges, junior colleges. You can go to Safeway, Walmarts. And if you ain't scared to dumpster dive, all you gotta do, you'll start finding all sorts of bottles, plastics, etc. Oh, I'm above that. You know what? I see out here in the Bay Area Asian people pulling up in Benzes, hopping out with gloves, digging in the garbage. They don't need to do that, but like, hey, they ain't gonna leave an extra $50 or $100 on the table. So what I'm saying is, if you are super broke and you like, man, I can't get a job, I can't do nothing. You can recycle plastics, cans. Some people take bottles. It's other stuff too, like copper and things like that. But uh, it's gonna be pretty hard to find the copper. But I'm just saying, it's simple things like that. Also, get you one of those big jugs, the 5-gallon jugs. It costs about $2 to fill that gallon up. It costs about $120 to $199 per gallon. So for 1 gallon, you can get 5 gallons. Come on now. You're like, oh, this is not anything to survive a recession. This is just common sense. Okay, well, why are you not doing it? Why don't you have a bunch of 5-gallon things at your house? You don't. So stop acting like you already know this and you're already doing this. Why aren't you recycling your plastic bottles? You don't have time. You don't have time to put a plastic bottle in another plastic container and separate it. A lot of you guys have yards and garages. Why aren't you utilizing the space? M3, what you got to say about the recycling and buying water in bulk versus just getting a bunch of water bottles?
Since we're on this recession topic, I mean, look, we waste like a lot of things. Okay, I'm just saying, like in general. Anytime when you buy like let's say a canned soda or drinking water, like from a water bottle, man, collect those things. Okay, collect those things. Start taking them to the recycling. Do you know that? Okay, I think in California they charge us like 5 cents per bottle, but if you drive out to Oregon, which that's a long drive away, but if you have family that's out there, go to Oregon and then you can sell those bottles and cans for 10 cents. All right. Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely. Hold on. I see you, Tina. Like, okay, let me go ahead and post the link.
Tina's over here like she's trying to go ahead and.
Oops, hold on. I like this. Hold on. Let me go ahead and send a link to you right now. The link will pop up in just a few seconds. Okay. I will ask, right, if you guys can please, like, cam up, especially like this, like your first time. You can also cam up like in the backstage as well too, so I can know who you look like. But it's just for safety measures. That's all. So we know who the real Tina is.
Be easy. Thank you for that message, because I know, like here in Texas where I stay, there's a recycling plant, but the apartment complex, so they'll say recycle, recycle. We don't have a bin here, and a lot of people throw the stuff in there and everything. I actually, so I have shoes and I give them away. I don't get right off of this and that. If I see somebody with something, something that needs something, then I'll do it. But I appreciate you saying that, because we don't necessarily get money for it. But here's the thing. I don't know if you have babies or not, but there are people that are younger than me that is going to have kids. And then y'all are younger than me. And, so I don't have grandkids yet, but, so it's nothing wrong with helping. People talk about climate and this and that and everything, but you have bottles that, when they melt and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure it does something to the ozone somewhere, some shape, form, or fashion. So there's nothing wrong with,
with plastic bottles, it takes 1,000 years to decompose. So when people acting like I care about climate change and my kids and all this stuff, it's like you making the planet worse for your kids. So even if you own some humanitarian stuff, you should recycle, right? If you're trying to get some extra little side hustle, you should recycle. And then people will, and it's funny too, because I had people saying, man, I ain't recycling. I ain't getting in no cans. I ain't doing no homeless shit. And then when they was broke, they was looking, hey, man, you think you can give me a burger? I'm like, nigga, I ain't about to buy you no burger with this homeless money that I got from recycling. Oh, bro, you gonna do me like that? Nigga, you doing yourself like that. You over here broke and hungry and complaining about grabbing some bottles that somebody threw on the ground. You can't be prideful and broke. You got to pick a struggle.
Okay. Real quick. Tina, you can still come up with your cam off, but when you come in the backstage, right, where nobody else can see you, just identify yourself so then I know that's the real you. So
Yeah,
basically, like
so
if you turn your camera on in the backstage, nobody else can see you with your camera on. I just gotta make sure that's a real you, you know?
correct. Yeah, you don't have to be live on the camera. Just like how
Mm-hmm.
I have my avatar, and then I hop
Mm-hmm.
on cam, and then I come off. It's
Mm-hmm.
just for security purposes. We don't think that you are a troll or anything like that,
Yeah.
but sometimes people do come up. They may flash some tick old biddies or Shorty Johnson or play some copyrighted music. It sounds very petty, but people will do that and have done that to get other people's live streams banned, restricted, and shut down. So yeah, Tina and anyone else that wants to come up, we would
Mm-hmm.
love to have your input. Me have a donut if you wasn't so drunk. It would be so dope if you came up too. But go ahead and sober up, my friend.
Mm-hmm. All right. So hopefully, like Tina will show up because I'm for sure she probably has some good wisdom that she would like to share, and I'd like to
Even
hear
Well
your thoughts.
Runs Black, if you available,
Mm-hmm.
you're making some good points in the chat, and also it seems like you had some disagreements, but yeah, you Well Runs Black say I recycle on the regular. You know how many times people say that they don't recycle,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's sad.
it really is sad because it's just you're throwing the money away. It's already
Yeah.
your money. It's just like a mail-in rebate. They don't do these anymore. But if you old school, like Fry's Electronics, Best Buy, Circuit City, places like that that is still here and not. They used to have, hey, buy this DVD player, buy this and this and that. It will be $50, but it will be a $20 mail-in rebate. So you got to fill out like, hey, I bought this. This is the receipt number. You send it in to them, and then months later, they send you your $20 back in the form of a check. And people are like, oh, I don't got time for that. Until they see someone else and a $20 check keep rolling in. That's essentially what recycling is. People don't care about it. And then I take them to the recycling center. They like, bro, you got $60. Bro, you got $80. I'm like, yeah. Hey, lunch on you? No, nigga, lunch ain't on me. You feel? I'm about to go try to get some more cans. You feel me? This is going in my savings. You feel me? Or get your kids, right? Oh, if you're above recycling, your kids ain't. Your kids, daddy, mommy, I want an Xbox. I want this. All right, cool. I'm about to take y'all around the neighborhood and y'all gonna go pick up some trash. Some of these kids that think it's fun to go be recycling and doing all this stuff. Some of these little kids could jump and literally get right in the garbage can. Oh, I ain't about to have my kid do that. Why not? You teaching them the value of industriousness, working hard, valuing money, working for what you want. Oh, you rather give them a handout and buy them a bunch of video games that they didn't earn. What is the alternative? Have them work and earn money, or you give them handouts? Which one do you think is going to produce a more productive citizen?
Be easy keeping it real, cause y'all, I used to, regardless of who my daddy was, I have drunk from a water hose on the ground. I wasn't too proud. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, we used to use water hoses for water fights. Like we didn't even have. How they had the super soakers, and sometimes we didn't even have water balloons. We would just get cups and buckets and just splash each other. You know what I mean? But we had fun. No cell phones in sight.
You know what we didn't do? Be easy. M3. What we didn't
Yeah.
do was go back in the house. We weren't trying to go back in the house. These kids ain't trying to go out and everything. And to be honest about it, I'm 5'4". I'm 100. I'll just say 150-ish. But I'm smaller than my kids. I'm like, y'all, what I'm saying? I got that old age spread and everything or whatever, but 5'4", 150. I was like, I can lift up some peanut butter jars or whatever. I was like, but y'all young girls, come on now. Do y'all thing. I promise you that, what I'm saying, ain't nothing wrong with being healthy because, what I'm saying, people with all that junk in the trunk, this and this and that and that, go out, walk. I walk twice a day. I walk twice a day and everything. As a matter of fact, the grocery store is a block and a half away from me. I walk to the grocery store. Why? Because who gonna turn around and crank some gas, say crank the car up and do all this and that. I don't have a problem with it. It's just me by myself staying here. So it's not like I got, say 18 baskets or whatever, saying everybody got, got a right to, invest in their body and stuff like that. Been a diabetic 44 years, both of my kidneys good. I'm gonna donate my kidneys. Why? Because most black people need kidneys. And so when I'm done with it, y'all can have it.
Yeah. Another thing to deal with the recession, and actually, it doesn't make this clear. No one should ever be ashamed of recycling. I think it's pretty fun. You're really helping their environment out. Even though those corporations, they get the big bucks off of us, but hey, you get a little something from it. You mentioned about like stocks be easy earlier, cryptocurrency. Look, there's so many ways to make money passively. And during the recession, see, the reason why people are fearing the recession so much is because there's not enough passive income that they're making, right? If they're making passive income, man, the recession will just be like, like an annoying fly that's just flying around your ear, man. You're just swatting it. But a lot of us are not really taught of passive income. So let me go ahead and just share a little bit about stocks and all that, because I do cryptocurrency right now. I got some money invested into SHIB, okay, SHIB, Shiba Inu. I also have I do option sharing. Options is basically putting 100 shares, one contract equals to 100 shares for the value of a discounted price. The catch is that you have a certain limit of time before you can pull that money out. So it's not like you save that money for a lifetime and see if that company is going to grow or not. You could even bet for it to go up and bet for it to go down. Almost like, like going to casinos a little bit. But yeah, this is where people, they make the big bucks for so little. But you could also lose a lot as well too. So
can you repeat what you just said? Can you repeat the some part about the go up, go down part?
I know it's definitely loaded the way how I'm explaining it, but basically, as stocks, they go up and they go down, there are options for you to make a call, which means you're betting the stock to go up. You're making a put because you're betting for the stock to go down, to lose its value. And since we can never predict what the stock market is, let's say I invested like maybe $100 and I want to have a choice. I want to put a call in for Apple. I'm thinking Apple's going to probably go up, especially during this recession. Even though most likely it might go down. But I just have a belief within that week or 2 weeks, depending on how much I'm putting my money into, that it's going to go up to passing a certain dollar, and that's pretty much it. And so if Apple goes up, and let's just say, because this is where it's going to get a little bit technical, and then you got to do the math or whatever, but let's say, for instance, and I'll try to make it as simple as I can. Let's say Apple's at $100, which is not really, but just pretend. And you're making a call for it to go up to, $110. So now you're reaching to that number where it's at 110. You're still making money, but now at this point, since you reached up to 110, Apple probably might still go up to 120 or 130. And it's almost going to be like, for every dollar that goes up beyond that call that you put into it, okay, that number that you got your eyes onto it, you may get like $100 for every dollar that goes up. Now, that's not always, like I said, it depends on the call or the put that you're making. because you're just hoping that you'll get as close and beyond that number as much as possible. And the further beyond that you're passing through that number that you make that call on, the more profits that you're going to earn. Same thing if it's like a put. Only difference is the stock is going down and down and down, and you still get your money that way. But if it goes to the opposite, that's where you start. That's where you're going to start to lose money. So keep in mind, and that same thing, if you're betting for it to go down, but the stock goes up, now you're losing money. So I just want you guys to kind of keep that in mind. That was the most simplest thing I could probably explain because it can really get technical. Other than that, I mean, look, save a lot of money to get a bunch of shares. So if it does go down, you could dollar cost average. Okay, that's called DCA, dollar cost average. And time goes down, put some more money down. It goes down again, put some more money down. Eventually, it will go up, and you could it's up to you if you want to make your profits. But the more money you put into it, the greater that your investment income will come. Stock life greatly depends on your research into companies, yes, and your predictability, willingness to gamble. Yes. Because who am I to say that, because Google had a stock split. I'm sorry, I'm getting too technical with this, but Google had that stock split recently, just like Amazon had that stock split. So, those stock prices was at a point where it was like over 3,000. Now it's like around in the hundreds. So who's to say that the stock won't go right back up again? All right, I gotta bring somebody in. We got John Sinatra in the building. What's up, John?
Yeah, y'all hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, bro.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. What's going on?
What's good, man?
Yeah, man. I was tuning in earlier, but I was on the move, and I didn't want to, I'm have all that feedback from the road, in the microphone, so I had to wait till I could stop. But I'm just now catching back in. What y'all discuss? What y'all on right now?
Man, we was talking about looks like BZ actually dropped out, but he should be back on. Yeah, so shoot, what we were talking about was just like stocks, man, just investments. We're at the recession part of the topic. Welcome back, Be Easy. And so people are asking questions about what stocks that you should really invest in, because there's so many different options. No pun intended, but option play in the stock market does exist, where it's like a high risk and high reward. Or you could just do regular stocks because it's a low risk, but then you also kind of get like a low reward as well, or a mid reward, but it's not going to be as high as option stocks. So or option trade, I meant. So Tina was asking me. So listen, if someone had $1,000
the
to
reward
invest,
you get could be more.
Well, either way, and you know what? Because remember, the market is unpredictable, Be Easy. So either way, you could do the safe route, and then you could wait for years to come to get your investment, or you could do option trading, get in and get out, and you could probably still have that same type of investment. Or you could just lose it all. Or you could just go down, just be negative. But yeah, as long as you don't take it out, dollar cost average. My answer to you, Tina, is try Google. Actually, Google had a successful earnings, as of today, earlier today, this afternoon. So that's a good way to put your money into Google, because with $1,000, you could probably get at least 9 shares of Google. A little bit more would get you 10 shares. But let's say you got 10 shares of Google. Now, for that maybe $1,000, if Google's at 100, if Google goes up to 3,000, that's pretty much I think $30,000. So yeah. So you just gotta be patient, and yeah.
let me ask a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hypothetically, say, because the only way really to lose out like on stocks is if something crash out, right? Now with Google, the only way that could really crash is if it's like a technology blowout or something, like if the internet just shut out. Like how could Google crash out?
That's if the company goes out of business. Like, but other than that, like, I mean, who's to say that Google would like? I don't think. To me, honestly, I don't think Google will ever go out of business anytime soon because they're just making just so much money. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Like billions. And
right, right,
so
right.
and plus they're really well established companies as well too. Like thinking about Apple. Apple's $1 trillion company. Apple's been there before I was born, I believe. I
Hmm.
forgot what year, but you know what I mean. And
Right.
had our family members, like our grandfathers, knew about investing in Apple, man, like something that small that's like $1,000 would have became like millionaires or billionaires right now, you
Right.
know, because of like how Apple like is advancing with so much as far as with the technology and the company still growing strong.
Hmm.
Same thing for like Amazon. Amazon started off as a book company. You
Right.
know,
Right.
like Barnes and Noble and all that. And
Hmm.
now, even though that side of the spectrum kind of went out of business as far as going there to your local stores, however, I'm sorry, not sorry, Apple, but Amazon, you can still order books from their what do they call it, from the site. What's it
Hmm.
called? I forgot what Kindle, something like that, right? Or ebook, something like that. So you can still get it from Amazon, and they deliver. They're like one of like the best like delivery companies
Hmm.
that's beating out
Audible
like Fed.
is their thing.
Mhm. Yeah, Audible. Yeah, take it easy. And that's it. The
I
dollar
think
Audible best for you. Mhm.
I can say something right now.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing about I think this pandemic that just that's going on, right?
Yeah, you
One
good.
thing it's like I didn't develop this theory just analyzing and looking at everything, right? And I looked at how almost like overnight the people who were invested in per se sanitizers, germ type products, face mask and stuff like that, they ended up super cashing out, like, through like out unbelievably, right? Just due to something that nobody was prepared for, nobody would think would happen, you know what I mean? Which caused it the whole shift to where, that stock is so valuable out of nowhere, right? So after with this pandemic going on, I'm thinking, okay, what could be the next phase or next wave of things that would possibly be super needed, in a time where, the unexpected could take place. And that's what kind of made me bring up when I was like, well, what could happen that could make Google, crash out or something like that? Because Google is ultimately, it's the internet. Like, you know what I mean? The search engine is like the number one, people when they think of, what to ask a question, they go say, oh, look it up on Google, or, use Google. So I'm thinking like, since the world is so rigged up, with technology right now, the only thing that can happen that would be, to the uh to the what's the word, basically to the extent of how, dramatic, this whole pandemic thing was if the internet actually just crashed out, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And again, say it was just power or just electricity, period. If power just went down, you know what I mean, and there was no electric, and then okay, and then that brings this question, right? What happens to
Mm-hmm.
the stock market at that point if everything electronically crashes out? Because that's how we keep in record of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Now, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, go ahead. You can elaborate.
Let's just say hypothetically, right? Because I'm not really certain about this, but do you remember there was a time when actually like the entire like network did crash out. Like the whole entire internet crashed out. I think it was worldwide. I believe that. Wait, you said Facebook there? Okay, my wife said something about like it was like Facebook, but
Right, I remember that. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
like Facebook was down or something like that.
yeah, but Facebook was down, and therefore Instagram was down. And
Right.
man, I feel like like people was already having panic attacks, and it wasn't
Right.
even down for like too long. So those things can possibly happen, you know,
Right.
and we gotta be prepared for that because you'll never know when something like that will actually malfunction. If that malfunction, I'm for sure it's gonna probably be a temporary fix because technology is still so advanced. There's always a recovery for that. But
Well,
however,
there's
Mhm.
generators.
yeah,
Like there are generators, right? But that's
Mhm.
only available to a small portion compared to the globe.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like still it'd be like now that would make we'd be in a whole different ball game because now it wouldn't necessarily be about how much you got in the bank and how much you got in stocks because that's all digital. You see what I'm saying? Now it's coming to you could be the richest dude in your neighborhood, you know what I mean? As far as if you pull up your bank account, but what if you can't pull up your bank account if the bank is closed? You know what I'm saying? And your phone is not now it just comes to what actual resources do you have? You know what I mean? How many candles do you have? You know what I mean? How much food that's not perishable, that how much can you know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's where the power, because that's where the order would come from. Say we all live on the same street, just us that's in this chat right now. We live in the neighborhood, right? And Be Easy, you know what I mean? He got the stock market on smash, you know what I'm saying, man? He got the the whatever the highest model cars, you know what I mean? He got the refrigerator that talk to you, he got a smart house, you know what I mean? All this stuff, right? But then the power goes out, you know what I mean? Now say he has a generator or whatnot and it can generate this much power for this long, that gives him, you know what I mean? Now we gotta link, and we don't have that. Now we gotta lean towards him, you know what I mean? We're gonna have to work together because as far as like, we're all living on this same street, but he doesn't have non-perishable foods. Now say you're the one, you know what I'm saying, you've been stocked up because for whatever reason you just been preparing. You had this, this theory for years, like, oh man, I knew something like this was gonna happen. That's why, you know what I mean, I've been stocking up, you know what I mean, on this many rice and beans, and I had it stored in this type of, container compartments or whatnot, and I've been waiting for this. And then say me, now I got the weaponry, you know what I'm saying, because people was gonna be, they would be in a state of need, and when people need something and they don't have the means to get it, they're gonna get it by any means. So now there comes right. So then there comes who would actually be the law and order. It would be us, right? Because we got the food, we got the security for protection, and we also have the limited amount of power. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I mean. Like, a lot of people who do have money, they might not be as smart with it to be prepared for something like that, because nobody thinks that, tomorrow all the power is gonna go out and not gonna come back on. Like you say, it should be a temporary fix. Like, and think that's how the world would think for at least 48 hours. At least for 48 hours, we would be on the whole verge of, what? I know something, PG&E, they gonna get it together. You know what I'm saying? We can't just stay like this. But after 48 hours, bro, it's a good, I ain't gonna lie. It ain't no telling what people might start resorting to, I seen an episode like this. I don't know if y'all ever used to watch the Twilight Zone, right?
I remember.
But I remember it was an episode on the Twilight Zone, and basically it was like there was a town and the government, they was running like an experiment or whatever, right? And basically they had took all the power out of the town, like all the lights went out, you know what I mean? And then they only put power in one house. So the people start coming with theories like, oh, it's some aliens that invaded us. We didn't got, it's an alien invasion. And look, them the only people with the power on in their house, you know what I mean? So they must be the aliens, you know what I'm saying? So then they start, the whole neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, basically end up banging on this door like, hey, why y'all the only people, that got power? What's going on? Next thing you know, they start playing tricks on them. Then they cut those people power out when they ready to kill them. They cut their power on. They like, oh no, it's you. You guys are the aliens. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, and basically by the end of the episode, it pans out. And as it pans out, it show you these dudes with the suits on or whatever. And they like, okay, look, it only been this matter of time, you know what I mean? And look at them, they just going crazy, you know what I mean? And they basically just, just writing in their little notepad, and they going to another town to do it again, like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it just always stuck with me since I was a little kid and stuff like that, like on how, these things happen in certain places to certain people. And the world keeps spinning, bro. Everything just keeps going on. But it's like, it always been in the back of my mind, like preparation. In this pandemic, it just really made me think, like, wow, who would have thought that somebody invested in toilet paper? And I really don't know why, toilet
And
paper
hand
of all.
sanitizer too.
What'd you say?
I said, don't forget about the hand sanitizer too.
And the hand sanitizer, like, you know what I mean? Now, the hand sanitizer makes sense, right? Because they said allegedly, that this is a germ, what I mean? They
Also
could
masks
possibly,
too, though.
and face mask,
Those
like,
N95
Oh
masks.
yeah.
right. You're right. I actually seen like scammers made millions off of fake N95 masks that they sold during the pandemic too. But
Oh damn.
yeah, they made millions off the fake ones. But yo, like I was saying, I would have never thought that all of it makes sense as far as the hand sanitizer, the face mask, because bro, this is like a sickness or whatnot. So it's like, this is things that can help. But toilet paper, who would have thought that people would be fighting over toilet paper, bro? Because think about it. It's like, how much, can you wipe your ass? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, at the end of the day, if it really got down to it, bro, you could really just wet rags, you know what I mean? And you could wipe your, you can cleanse yourself, your hygiene, you know what I'm saying, with a towel,
shower, right?
or hop. Right, because the water didn't stop, you know what I mean? It's just, but people for some reason just thought like, oh no, it ain't gonna be no tour, or maybe it's
they didn't sell out of baby wipes.
hey, but B, what's crazy? Hey B, what's crazy though? It's like we don't even trip off of something until the news tell us that it's a shortage on it. Then they tripping like. How many people was worried about baby food until they said, oh, it's a shortage on baby food? You know what I'm saying? Then it's like people hurry up and try to run to the stores and buy it. It's like they kind of figured out a way to market things and make things skyrocket overnight by putting out this little, this false flag of, it's not going to be enough.
Fear-mongering.
Right. You know what I mean? So, I've been peeping that too. Like, and I'm definitely like me. I'm new to like the whole stock marketing thing. Like, you know what I mean? I was late on that. I was up to date on a lot of stuff, but I'm new to that. So I'm really just I'm very careful and sketchy about what I really want to invest in, because I don't want to just do no little small invest. I want to believe in what I invest in, and I want it to make sense, to the point to where it's like, okay, I know that, just looking at where things are at right now and where it could happen, this is what would make the most sense to invest in. And the average person wouldn't do it because, you always got to think outside the box. Like whoever had stock in face mask and hand sanitizer, they was thinking out the box, bro. You know what I mean? If you had large investments in that, unless you had somebody on the inside that gave you a heads up, a while ago, you know what I mean? That, of course, there's always those people, unless you got, an insider to tell you, what to invest in or whatever. Everything, is a risk, you know what I mean? Which, losses is going to come with the game of making money, the business anyway. So, you got to be prepared for that. But, in order to really cash out, you got to be prepared for that big wave, that big storm that's going to hit. And it's like, okay, we already seen the pandemic, but I think it seemed like that's not as strong as it was, probably like a year or two ago. People is kind of like getting wind of it now to the point to where it's like, okay, everybody didn't caught I won't, what it was. Everybody didn't had their little, episodes with it, and people seen that it wasn't what it was being made out to be. So it's like, okay, they can only scare you so much with that. So then they come out with this new thing where they talk about, well, I won't even say that either, because I don't know how they doing with the little trying to, censorship, and, I don't want y'all to get, face no shot.
Just call it MP.
Okay, with the MP, like, you know what I mean? With the MP, and with that, once I heard that, I'm like, man, I'm not finna overly, trip out off of that. Like, of course I'm aware, and, I look up things and to understand what they are, but I'm not finna just, read every news update that's saying, oh yeah, man, this many people, over here, got this and da 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 da. Like, I'm not finna keep falling for the, the fear tactics and stuff like that, bro. Like, if until I directly see something, you know what I mean? I mean, what am I supposed to do? They're just like, bro, they telling us about the Bloods and Crips in
Yeah, because a
LA.
lot of that stuff is propaganda too, though, right?
Right. You know what I mean? It's propaganda. And like I was going, an example would be, say we in Northern California. Some people they so headstrong on the news, bro. They'll hear about something in Southern California, like gangs going crazy or something. They'll start to think it's coming to their neighborhood. Like, bro, you know what I mean? That I'm not saying it can't eventually trickle down and make its way, but I'm just saying like it's kind of extreme looking at something that's happening on basically another part of the map, bro, and just trying to let that make you dictate, how you gonna live your life. And you know what I mean? Like, people got to be way
Well, the
smarter, bro.
perfect example is when people always say, well, what about Chicago? What about
Oh yeah,
Chicago? Let
what
me
about it?
break down
Right.
the demographics. Chicago is 53% white. No city that's over 50% white is a war zone. It's 22% Hispanic and about, I think, 11 to 16% black, depending on that. So Chicago, Chirac is not a war zone. All of that stuff is happening in a centralized area where they're letting it happen. A bunch of those crimes are unsolved, so people don't know who did it. They just assume, oh, it's a black neighborhood, it was a black
How
person. They
B
just
B how
completely discount white supremacists. They completely discount those Latin gangs that are bigger than the blacks gang. You mean to tell me that those Latinos are not doing no killing out there? Is they
right?
pussy or not? You know what I mean? So it's like, so when
But
people
how
say,
how
"Oh,
big is
Chirac,"
Chicago
it's
though?
like, huh?
How big is Chicago? Because you say it's only 11% blacks, right? Well, how big is Chicago just
Chicago
in
is pretty
general?
big. It's like the third. It's in the top five of biggest cities in
So I'm
America.
saying, break. Can you like give me an example? Like, is it like five Sacramentos or two? How would you just like how big is it like?
It's basically like a little it's a little bit smaller than it's between LA and Houston size, like somewhere in the middle of
Mm.
that. And
LA and
Houston
Houston,
is like
okay.
the fourth biggest city. Yeah,
And you
Houston
mean
is the fourth biggest city in the country. Actually, it goes um New York, LA, Chicago, and Houston. Those are the top four biggest cities.
so you mean to tell me that it's 53% white? That's crazy because you wouldn't even think that looking at the news. But
That's my
53%
whole
white,
point. Due to the
that's crazy.
media framing, when they say Chicago, they make it seem like it's just like Atlanta, like it's just all 80% black. It's
Right.
literally like 12. No one has to take my word for it. Look it up. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to say. Also, the people who say, what about Chicago? They never been to Chicago. They don't want to go to Chicago. They don't like Chicago. They only bring it up to try to disparage a particular group of people, mainly black people. But like I said, Chicago is not a war zone. It's just like Oakland. Oakland Hills, it ain't no crime happening in Oakland Hills and Piedmont and all this stuff. But no, they want to make it seem like everyone is the murder dubs at Deep East Oakland like that. That's not the case, bro.
Right, right. You right. You got a good point on that, bro. The news is like I say, man. That's why I take it like with a grain of salt, bro, because it's like, they just keep everybody playing into their hand. You know what I mean? One thing that I always notice too is like when they get these big press conferences, like as far as like the people who run the state, and they in that big house, what color it is, right? They always give out these warnings of what to be prepared for, but they never are worried when they telling us what to be scared of, bro. It's like they'll tell you like, oh yeah, there's there's such and such going on, prepare, it might be a war breaking, it might be all this. They are never worried though, you know what I mean? They telling us, stay 6 feet apart, you know what I mean, don't be in groups, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, they in a big ass group telling it to us, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, and people don't even sit back and really just analyze this, like we just go for it. But I think like now we're in a time where a lot of people more so than ever, like, it's pretty much reading through the bull crap. Like, people are not just going for the okey doke like they've been over the years. Like, people are starting to notice that no matter who we put in office, nothing is changing.
It's the
I
same
think
thing.
it's
That's what
the
I'm saying.
same.
Like that two-party system, bro, that it's like they separate fangs on the same viper. And back kind of to that pandemic stuff and the jab. Now I'm seeing women in the streets protesting. They're taking our rights. We should have the rights to delete a baby. Okay, maybe you should, right? Because it's your body, your choice. But y'all was the same ones in the street calling me. They were People were saying that I was putting people at risk because I refused to get the jab. What happened to my body and
Mm,
my choice?
exactly.
Oh wow.
Right.
You know what I mean? And also the
Right.
media too. The media was telling you that, and I know John. I personally never had C19. John did get C19. So could you speak to the people? Like, I know you said it was bad, but I mean, when it
Man, I
came
mean,
down
I
to it,
honestly,
hold,
bro,
hold,
I just had
hold
a,
on, let
I
me
just
just
had a,
set this alley oop for you. Let me just set this alley oop for you because when they was talking about C19, that's all I heard. Cancer didn't exist anymore. Diabetes, flu,
the
pneumonia.
common
What
cold.
about STDs? What about AIDS? If you ask
Right.
somebody, would you rather get AIDS or C19? They'll be like, give me that C19. But nobody was talking about AIDS anymore.
Hey, man. I'm gonna say this right, and I'm just being all the way
So,
100, bro.
John, I mean, how was it when you got to C19? Did you want to like delete yourself? Did you bounce back
Man,
cold?
hell no. Nah, it was nothing like that, bro. I'm gonna tell you that. This the honest to God truth. God, strike me down if I'm lying, bro. When I got that, in which I still am not even sure if it was that. I mean, I took the test and the test said I had it, so technically I had to be like, okay, yeah, this is what I had, right, bro? Me, I had like the worst. Well, I won't say like the worst, but it definitely was like top 5 worst headaches I ever had. But it was like for like 24 hours. And I don't know if it's because, I'm slim, you know what I mean? I only weigh 145, you know what I mean? So maybe, things pass through my system faster than others because I know, people who had more weight on them that caught the virus or whatever, they, had it, had a rougher time getting through it. But me, I just had a bad headache, had a fever, you know what I mean? I just really just felt like laying down, didn't want to get out of bed. You just feel tired, like you don't want to do nothing. It was nothing to what I expected off of hearing what everybody was saying though. Like I'm thinking like, oh man, this is like life or death. It was nothing like I feel like, oh, let me go get a jab or let me go. It was nothing. It was just like, okay, is I didn't have flus, it just like the flu, really, but I mean I didn't throw up or nothing, but I caught it. My girl, she caught it. I think my kids, my 2 sons, they had caught it, and it was just like it came and went, bro. It wasn't like as bad as they made it seem. Like you need to be so scared that it, like you say, it's other stuff out there that we need to. I'm more concerned about catching STDs, AIDS, and all that type of stuff, bro. If anything, I'd take that. I'd take C19 again over anything else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't that bad, bro. Now I don't want it. I'm not trying to undermine it like it was fun. No, it wasn't fun at all, bro. But I'm just gonna keep it real, bro. Like I caught it, bro. I just basically I drank a lot of fluids, bro. Ate my vitamins, you know what I mean. I ate my fruits. And I just smoked weed, bro. I smoked some weed, man, laid my ass down, went to sleep, bro. And I did that until I just felt better. And like I said, it was really only like 24 hours, bro. Like a whole day, I was like, damn, my head is killing. It felt like a drill, like somebody just had a drill and was
Hey,
just drilling.
Yeah.
do you
I could,
regret not getting that jab?
No. And no, I don't, not at all. And at the same time, like, I
You
actually feel
regret not
even.
getting that jab so you could have got, instead of 24 hours, you could have been better in 12 hours?
Man, do you hear
man,
me? Hell no, bro. Let me tell you something. And I don't even want to, because I know how they be getting when we get to talking about that, bro. So I don't want to get, I ain't trying to get y'all, but bro, that it's all cap, bro. It's all cap. Everybody who got that I know, bro, they still got it, bro. They was worse than me. I promise you, bro. They was worse than me.
man.
All of them was, bro. I know some people that caught it like
Mhm.
multiple times, bro.
And probably was
Multiple times.
hospitalized too, huh?
Man, some of them died. I ain't gonna lie, man. My homie, his auntie and uncle, right? They had went the whole time without having it, the jab. And then after they got the jab, bro, I'm talking about like I think like within 2 weeks, bro, the husband died. You know what I mean? The wife was, you know, she was real sick, you know what I mean? And it was like, and that was after getting it. So like I say, like, bro, you got to be careful, bro, because you know, everything affects everybody differently, you know. And like I say, it's like they say with the abortion thing, right? It's your body, your choice. It should be like that with everything, bro, because everybody is affected differently. And like, to think that, you know, somebody could scare you into putting something in your system that you don't know what it's going to do, how you going to react based off of something that you've never even experienced before. That's like being so scared of a gang that's outside. They said, oh man, they're beating up everybody real bad when they come outside their house. So you like, oh man, I'm so scared to get beat up. I'm just gonna blow my brains out. I'm not going outside anymore. I'm just gonna kill myself. Like, it ain't that serious, bro. Once you just get in the fight and you realize, like, oh, that's all it was. It's like, you know, it was just like that with me. Like, it was nowhere near that serious, bro. I had that joint, and when I had caught it, it's like everybody I know had caught it like at the same time. My other brother, he stayed all the way in Atlanta. He caught it like the same time I had. I'm like, man, we ain't been around. How did we? And we had went the whole time without getting nothing. Nobody had caught nothing. When we was hearing about all these multitudes of people that was getting it, you know, this and that. We've been cool, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, everybody that didn't get it, they got it, and it was just like, okay, yeah, but you know, it just passed through, and you know, I'm not worried about it, bro. I mean, of course, I still, you know, I'm not just shaking anybody's hand. You know, I'm not finna go lick a telephone pole. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, bro, I'm not finna just act like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man, it's not that serious. And that was just another lesson in life for me, just going with my gut instinct, bro. Don't follow what, you know, what the program, don't go along with the program, man. You know, there's a reason, and which is it always comes down to $1 at the end of the day, because you know, people want funding, you know what I mean? They want to make money. And if everybody is happy go lucky, you know, they don't make money. You know what I mean? They can't fill up their prisons and jail cells. You know, they can't sell you all these medications. You know what I mean? They just want to diagnose you with something, bro. Like, it's so crazy. Like, think about it. If you have an itch on your neck for some reason, your neck just start itching. If you look on Google, bro, there's somehow you might think you got AIDS or something, bro. Like, you know what I mean? They go, oh man, if your neck has been itching like this, you know, that's symptoms of this. And one thing I notice about the doctors, no matter what I tell them, they got a medicine for everything. You can tell them your eye won't stop twitching, man. Oh man, you need to get this physochrono techno. They got some type of crazy name for some type of pills or something that give you that. You know what I mean? You tell them, oh man, I've just been feeling dehydrated. Instead of just telling you drink some water, they'll give you some medicine for that. Like, you know what I mean? You know, they got medicine for everything.
If you addicted to meth, they give you methadone, a different form of meth,
oh, man.
to get you off addiction.
Hey, for real, bro. For real, man. It's scary, bro, with these drugs, man. Like, I'm for real, because like, you know, the opiate crisis or whatever, what do they call it? It's like not a pandemic, but it's a epidemic or whatever they call it, right?
Crisis.
For all the people that's on opiates, right? When I was incarcerated a few years ago, I seen they was giving these people something called like Sebastian strips or something like that, bro. And it basically is like a Listerine strip that you put on your tongue. And this is for people who are addicted to opiates like heroin and whatever else could be in that category. Bro, the drug was literally just, I'm talking about, they was like zombies, bro. They was just, and they were just fiending for it. Like, you know, when the nurses would come through, people would be saving them up, you know, acting like they getting it, you know, put it in their cheeks, sell it to somebody else, you know what I mean, for commissary and all types of stuff. But it was like, I'm just looking at it like, bro, that's what they do. They substitute one thing with another thing, and it's just about making $1. As long as they can make money and they can monetize it, it's okay. But if you making money off of it and it can't get taxed, it's a problem. So, you know.
Yeah, and that's where they got the stuff like, you know, like copyright, like, you know, like in the stream, like, you know, we can't say the actual word that we would like to say to describe it. That's not what I'm talking about. Also, be careful, chat, even if you guys type it in. You don't want like the C19 bots to come around and try to advertise, and then next thing you know,
those fact checkers, bro.
Yeah,
John, they know about that, nigga. They blocked
man. Bro, I gotta make a whole new
about Joe Biden's son, about him smoking crack. They said that this was personal.
Allegedly, they got to say.
Bro, they said it was like a personal attack, and they blocked me from saying Joe Biden's son was smoking crack when he actually was. I said something about C19, bro. They blocked it and fact checked it, even though it was actually true. And they was like, they said it's kind of true. Like, huh? Like they got this stuff where they'll say your stuff is completely false, or they'll say it's partially true. Like, bro, what is it real or not? You feel me?
Right.
Who's checking the fact checker?
Bro, they struck my account behind a similar thing, because when he sent that money over to the that country that's at war, and I said, "What is he from this country, bro?" I got a strike on my account for just asking, "Was he?" I'm like, why would you send so many millions of dollars, bro? We over here struggling. It's people, bro. It's homeless people left and right. We got all these vacant buildings and they can't even sleep in there, you know what I mean? And you sending millions of dollars to over there because they going through. So like, that's crazy to me. Like, that just shows you, like, you know, who y'all really care about, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole just a make-believe, you know, situation with this, you know, justice for all, and, you know, and all this, you know. It's a bunch of BS, bro. Like, you know, look at where the money goes. You know what I mean? Look at how much we pay in taxes. Me and B was talking about how we pay taxes that build these streets, right? And then you got to pay a bridge toll, you know, to go across the bridge on top of your tax dollars going to paving the, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. How much you talk about pimping? That's pimping.
Then they fired all of the workers and hired robots and then upped the price on us.
Come on, up the price. It should be cheaper. Ain't got no more.
$8 now, right? Damn, we really didn't fire all the work.
They never came back.
Damn, bro.
They never came back. Nobody at the bridge no more.
They were saying it was temporary. They was like, no, we ain't letting y'all go. This temporary. But
then 2 years later,
unemployment never brought them back.
Never.
But see this comes to like my little conclusion on this one, right? Oh, I gotta play that.
You got the X-Files going off over there.
Because see, the thing is, right, you know, look, man, we're creating these robots, right, for just so they could take over our jobs. So you created something that pretty much got you fired or laid off. No, we were laid off at this point. And I knew this was going to happen. You know what, matter of fact, I remember, like, you know, like those workers getting laid off, but I wasn't really thinking at that time, like probably because of 2020, and then we wasn't really traveling that much. But now come to think about it, when I be passing these toll bridges, I'm like, I'll be like, where the people at? And damn, and it makes sense. You don't need a person that can kind of stand and take your money, especially when you have like Fast Track and all these other tolls that's going to automatically deduct anyway or bill you. So why pay someone on a toll booth like maybe $20 an hour or $30 an hour? You could just delete the middleman, okay, and just like, you know, have like, you know, the money all to yourself. Our tax dollars that's going into these funds, and in return for our thanks for investing our money into paving the roads and building the city up, we're still paying more, $8, even higher, you know, just across the bridge. And of course, this where the excuse comes in. Whoa, it's because of inflation. We have to, you know, expand, like, you know, our dollars are there because the way how it's circulated right now is just too much money going around. So we got to amp up the prices. It's not too much money going around. It's that you guys are being greedy.
Well, think of it's too much money going around, right? But then think about this. What about the bailouts where they found a hidden lost $1 trillion? How do you find $1 trillion, bro? You know what I mean? So there you go, right there. Y'all couldn't find $1 trillion. You know what I mean? Well, we didn't. You know what I mean? With all these other situations that we needed, that y'all had to up the prices on everything else. You know what I mean? There was no bailout found for that. But we could find a bailout that's going to cause us to distribute extra amounts of dollars to people who we know are going to mismanage their money, and they're going to spend it and give it right back to us anyway.
But we're $1 trillion in debt, right? We're supposed to be the ones that's in debt.
Come on, but we found $1 trillion.
but yet we have so much money that we gotta start, making choices and all this other stuff, and then giving other money out to other countries that don't even give a damn about us. You know,
Right, right.
allegedly, which I always have to say for YouTube, because we already know. Look, man, honestly, we already know YouTube will try to shut anything down if it gets too political and gets too real. Last time we had like one of the most realest live streams, and YouTube like literally blocked that particular video, and I had to try to contest that so many times to try to get that unlocked. Fortunately, I was able to get that unlocked, but man, you just gotta be careful, man, on these platforms.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to be as careful as possible, and it's like it's
Hmm.
so hard not to get into the meat of things, bro. When we're talking about, because it's reality. It's like what we
Yeah.
supposed to do. We supposed to act like what I mean. This stuff is imaginary and it's not going on when we see it, and we know for a fact what's going on
Hmm.
every day. But when we on these platforms, which are the biggest platforms of communication and being social, hence the name social media, um
Hmm.
they want to doctor what you can and can't talk about, what I mean. And that's why I mean I was thinking about, remember, like before the internet was really big, and then they had like certain website. It was only few websites we really knew about, and I just used to remember hearing about, like, my older cousins. They'd be on Black Planet, you know what I mean. And
Hmm.
they'd be on Black Planet, and that was like the thing. Like, I guess that was like they MySpace, Facebook, Instagram back in the days or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about, like, now, how, why are we acting like there is no alternative for us other than these platforms that we're using right now? Like, I mean, are we really just gonna give them that much power? Oh man, if so and so buys Twitter, it's gonna, who cares if so and so buys Twitter? Who cares who buys YouTube? At the end of the day, we the people
Hmm.
decide what's cracking and what we want to talk to each other on. So the same way how we made these sites, I'm saying, popular, if we take our our content elsewhere, they'll be forced but to follow. Like, what else they gonna do? Because I mean, what I mean, no disrespect to no ethnicities or nothing like that, but keep it real, bro. If all people with my skin complexion decided to just tomorrow not partake in any social media bro, it would be the biggest trending thing going on. Where are all the melanated people? Where did they go? Why are they not posting? Why are all their pictures gone? Why are their accounts deleted? They gonna come find us, bro. Like, you know what I mean? We are the entertainment. You know what I mean? When it comes to entertainers, bro, we're number one in everything. You know what I mean? If we just think, it's crazy how we're number one in everything and don't own nothing. All these basketball players got hundreds of millions of dollars a year. They don't own not one gym. All these rappers make all this money. We have not one distribution company.
Hmm.
Um, all of these you name it. We don't own any of the, we're the number one, in the professions, but we don't own any of the systems that generate the income off of it. And you know what I mean? That's what we got to really just change. You know what I mean? Because we can't keep playing into the hands of these people, like they just the end all be all. Because at the end of the day, bro, we got the power. You know what I mean? And that saying, how the revolution will not be televised, it won't. Because think about it. Why would they put something on TV that's going to destroy their means of control? They would never broadcast that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If you had a company, you know what I'm saying, and you knew that if you played this on TV, nobody's gonna come to work tomorrow, is you ever gonna air this episode? No, you wouldn't. So don't be expecting for them to just tap you on your shoulder and let you know, hey, don't put your money into this. Don't, it's up to us, you know what I mean, to do our own research and our own investigation and kind of outsource outside of these platforms. Because just like Google, man, you can pay for slots. If I want to pay Google a certain amount of money to make sure that I'm the number one marijuana dispensary that pops up when you say I'm looking for marijuana in California, I can pay and make sure that I pop up on there. You know what I mean? So it's like people, are so, naive nowadays. The first thing that pops up on the Google search engine, they really taking it as, the word of God. When it's like, come on, man, Wikipedia, Google, all these things can be bought. All these things can be sabotaged and programmed to a way of your liking if you're going to put the marketing dollars behind it. You know what I mean? So it's like nobody wants to read actual books. If one thing about the internet, right? If it did crash out, we really would have to read again. You know what I mean? We really would have to read again, and that's the thing.
And that's
People have
why
gotten so
people
lazy.
probably want to delete themselves if it comes down to that. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, yeah,
Because
man, because
people
they
don't want to
don't,
read nothing of substance.
they
They
don't,
want
man.
to
But
read.
what?
Mhm.
But they want to
They
listen. But
just
they
don't
will
read shit
listen.
of substance. Look at the
They
shade room, right?
right,
They read the headline, and the best part is the comments. You're reading the comments. If you totaled all of the comments you read of, you already read a couple chapters. So you actually are reading. You just ain't reading
right.
anything of substance. So if I say, hey, here's 48 Laws of Power, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, I don't got time to read that. But you can read countless shade room posts about R. Kelly, Kodak Black, all of them equaled up to a chapter
Mhm.
book. But you
That's
said you
right.
don't like reading. If I send you a text, you read the text. You type a text, you proofread the text, and then you send it. Then you read the other text I send, and we going back and forth. That's called reading. It may not be of anything of substance, but you're reading every day. So if you're gonna be doing it every day, why don't you do that and gain some value from it? But that's what I'm saying. That's what people don't do. Same thing. You'll hear all of these celebrities, right? White, white supremacy or racism or whatever doesn't exist because I made it. Okay, so if you truly believe that, what is stopping you from having your distribution company? What is stopping
Mm,
you from having your own record label? So it's either that the, you know, non-black supremacy is real, or you just a coon, bro. I just gotta call it how it is, bro. Because
Mhm.
if you're not trying, if you have the means to build a community and infrastructure and you don't do that, what could I call you? An individual? No other group would allow that. You think there
Mhm.
could be a Jewish or Asian actor? Look at Manny Pacquiao. He don't got to be giving all of that money to the Philippines, but he looking like, bro, I, you know, I'm nobody in the Philippines is earning the amount of money that I'm doing. He could stay here and be living the life, but it's better for him to be building up his community. That dude is like a god over there in the Philippines. But see, we'll look at somebody and say he's a god. Why? Because this nigga made a platinum album and then do shit for his community. How is he a god? The god of fraud to me. You feel me? We gotta stop acting like these cats is just deities and call them what they are. And it's a word that rhymes with spoon. I'll let you figure out the rest.
Mm. And with that being said, be easy. I'm gonna have to close out because I gotta get ready for another day. But
Oh
yo,
yeah,
this
no,
might
no,
be
it's super late. I was just trying to wait for the perfect time because we was
yeah.
touching on, but we definitely got to revisit this one because
Hmm.
we got to revisit this because John, came with some different angles. The chat
Exactly.
was coming, so it's a lot of rabbit holes that we can go, but we definitely got to lock in on this. And let's just run through the chat real quick. Shout out to
Exactly.
everyone that's been rocking with us. Tina Tattles, go ahead and tattle to all your friends and let them know this is where we condone and snitching. Go ahead and snitch and say that College of Relationships is a dope channel. Channel your inner Takashi and snitch. M3 is cooking. My boy John came up here and brought that fire. And be easy, that dude. I don't need no introduction in this. Me have a donut. You making me want to have a donut with sprinkles, old fashioned maple, man. Shout out. And well runs black. You gotta come through. You gotta come through more often. And even join the panel. And like I said, showing Tigo biddies is not required. We ain't like all that. Just cam up, show that you're a real person, not a troll, and we gonna rock out. So
I
my
know.
brothers, before we leave, could we just get three quick things that people could do to avoid not only sinking and drowning during the recession? So I'm gonna just name some quick ones. They don't have to be long drawn because long and drawn out because we end in the stream. So I
Hmm.
would say, like I had already talked about, saving money, not being too proud to like recycle and use coupons and things like that. I would also say buying in bulk. People like, man, that's just simple. Yeah, but my nigga, you're not buying in bulk. right? You don't shop at
Mhm.
Costco, Smarts Final, Sam's Club, or anything like that. It just seems simple and common sense, yet you're not doing it, right? So if it's so
Mhm.
common, then why don't you do it? But buying in bulk really does matter, right? For reals, because when you start breaking it down pound for pound, bro, try to whatever it is, bro, just try to buy like let me see, tissue, right? Try to buy a small thing of tissue, like the 4 pack, and then you gonna run through four. Cause some cats, you take a monster number two, you gotta wrap that stuff around your hand, and then you gotta do a lot with the tissue, right? So just that 4 pack ain't gonna do it. But then you keep
Yeah.
buying 4 pack after 4 pack, you already spent like $50 on tissue. Why didn't you just get the bulk tissue for $20? You want to, and that can be with anything, water, um, gas, right? Why you keep only putting $5 in your car, man? Fill that thing up. Go to
Mhm.
the cheapest place and fill it all the way up. Because now you only put $5. Now you're running on gas. You put $5 at 5.49. Now you about to run at gas, and now you at Chevron, and now you got to go to the place to 6.09. You should have just filled up.
Uh,
So buying in bulk. Also, I would say, like I said, being a minimalist, bro. Cook at home. I make a mean burger, bro. Better than McDonald's, In and Out, and all this stuff. Why am I finna go feed my family? It's gonna cost you what, $60, $100 at In and Out to feed your family, versus it could probably cost you $30, and you'll have leftovers. So come on now, we got to start living minimalist lives, and we got to be planning things, right? Gas is high. So I can't just be making these frivolous trips. I need to say, look, I need to run by Safeway, and I need to hit here and here. You plan a route so that you can do all of those things in one day. You feel me? On the same route, not drive a bunch of places and waste your gas and stuff like that. So those are just some simple, quick, you know, tips that
Mhm.
will help people save and try to survive the recession. M3, could you give us a couple quick tips that people could do to like kind of survive and stay afloat in the recession?
Just invest. Okay. Don't be like me, like back in 2020, just like blowing my money and all that. Okay. But make smart investments. Know about the companies. Understand that when you're buying the stock, you're not just buying the stock, you're buying a share of that company. Okay. So you own that part of the company, whether you believe it or not. Find some way to make some type of passive income. If you can't do that right now at the moment, hey, you may have to get a second job, but use that second job to cover the means while at the same time build up like your investments. Don't
uh,
just leave your money into like the bank, because the bank is going to invest your money, make a profit out of it, and give you 1%, something like that every year. You know what I mean? So you're not really getting nothing from it. Might as well take either a risk, a smaller type of risk, but anyway, risk is a risk. But just make smart investments. That's all I can really say. Like empty, I need you. Sorry, empty. I need to talk to you about passive income. Yeah, yeah. Look, most definitely. Hold on, and just to make it clear, right? We are not here in knowledge relationships. Well, hold on, where is it? We are not financial advisors. So I just want to put that up there for YouTube's sake. So I could give you some type of advice, but just know that, hey, take my words as a grain of salt. You know, it doesn't guarantee you like instant funds. We just keep it real
Got to
out
make
here.
your own decisions.
Exactly. Because my wife, she could tell you about like what is it called? Like Roth IRAs or shoot, what's that called? It's IULs, you know, or home, like, you know, life insurance and stuff like that, you know. So and all these things, right? Like I said, I'm not no financial guru about these things, but all I know is I could just tell you for what I do, at least to a bare minimum of as much as I could explain. But yeah, guys. Oh, sorry, yeah. Thanks for this, guys. It was fun. Be safe out there. So next time, like, gotcha. And I also want to respond to we have Donuts comment. And three, I admire you as a streamer for holding these kinds of discussions. Everyone respectful, kind, and even when we came from different walks of life, thank you for accompanying my drunk butt. Hey, look, anytime, man. Look, if y'all want to thank me even more, hey, feel free to donate. So, um, don't be shy when it comes to donations. Like it helps. Donations. But other than that, I mean the biggest thing to of it all is that if you could just share this video to your friends and family, and just make sure that you comment after the end of the live stream. So when the live stream is over, then it would generate the replay. From the replay, you could just place a comment. You could just put an emoji, or if you want to give many thanks, hey, flood up with comments, man. Look, I challenge you guys. Look, if y'all could make 100 comments here, make a whole bunch of comments after when the show's over. And maybe they'll reply, and I'll definitely reply back to you. But when you make a comment after the show, it builds the algorithm up to bring more attention to this video. So we definitely need the comments to arise after the show. So this is dope, well needed. Yeah, you too. Okay. So remember, everybody, comment after the show, the live stream. It will definitely help us out big time. All right.
All right.
Yeah. John, you have anything else you want to say in the closing announcements?
I just want to add on, one thing I didn't hear mentioned. Hey, everybody, in these times, don't be afraid to group up. You know what I mean? Talk to your neighbors, talk to your, your friends, extended family or whatnot. And, see how y'all can come together and how y'all can invest together and how y'all can build together and how we all can build together, because, 100% of nothing, leads to nothing. So don't be afraid to share something in order to grow and make a way lot more. And, try to save 10% of at least everything that you earn. And, yeah, thank you guys for having me up. Sorry I was late coming in, but the next one I'm gonna try to catch y'all way earlier, and I appreciate y'all having me on, man. Y'all some good brothers, great insight. Everybody that I did hear so far on the show, it was great. I love the outlooks and the the ideas and thoughts of all different people from different walks of life. It's always a learning experience, and I appreciate y'all having me on here.
All right. And salutes to Iso Hopeful. Thank you for tuning
Yeah,
in,
no problem. I
Iso.
mean, thank you for
Mhm.
yeah, thank you for coming through for sure.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Hey, so hopeful, what's up, man? You came through on the back end, but we appreciate you coming through. But yeah, John, man, we gonna start earlier next time. We definitely got to do a part two of this recession stuff because
Mhm.
Biden is lying and acting like it ain't here, but by every definition and
Allegedly.
the metrics and indicators, it's already here. They tell, yeah, they telling you, yeah, allegedly, right?
Mhm.
We're not economists, but oh shit, SO, is it SO hopeful or ESO?
Yeah, ESO, either one.
Mhm.
Now I
Yeah.
want to say it the right way. So what's the way you say it?
Oh yeah, I go by E.
E. Okay, cool. Then we call E. E. We about to shut it down, bro. But if you can just give the people something that will help people like survive this upcoming alleged recession, you know what I mean? And then we gonna
Yeah,
close it
yeah.
out.
I was going to just piggyback on what my man said about as far as for being in groups, group economics. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, how even in most people who have like a function in society is going to be grocery stores, things to where you can go where you have everything right there for everybody for a wide range of people. But same thing for the grocery stores. If you have, say for instance, people who can actually help out, you got extra this, I got extra that, you know what I'm saying, kind of be able to help each other out where it's not just everything's on you. Everything you bought, you know what I'm saying, there's some things that you can get as far as for just giving, and could have a good lasting effect. Um, so it's one of those things where it's like, if say for instance, if you have a you know like a washing machine, right? Um, you might see it as just everybody has one, but not everybody has those things. Not everybody has, you know what I'm saying, a car or something like that. You might see somebody you drive past every day. If you kind of help them, they give you some money towards gas. It's that the price is lessened because of everybody helping pitching in for the same thing, and the same goals. You're going the same way that you would have gone. It's not taking anything away from you to help someone else. So I think I understand, you're not going to get where you're going but if you keep stopping, but still, if you do have those, people that you can look to in times of need, cookouts, like things like that. They used to have cookouts like that where everybody brings something, and it's always so much food if you do it like that. If everybody bring one dish, it's so much food left over, you'd be like crazy. And same thing for like books, knowledge, spreading knowledge. You bought a book, you still got it. You could pass that forward or donate it, or you know what I'm saying. Just thinking with a mindset of not just yourself, but a worldly mindset where you realize, you know what I'm saying, everybody needs the same things: food, clothing, shelter. So if you can, help provide for someone else that needs it, you know what I'm saying, you'll get more, I think, back. It's like the more the more you give, the more you get. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm just gonna say.
All right, man. Well said, man. You know, thank you for your closing comments on that.
And no problem, yo.
M3, you got
Thanks
an
for
air
having me on,
horn
yo.
for my guy?
Of course, man. I got that as always.
Right off the cuff, buddy. Hey, you there you go. Shout out to E for coming through, bro. You're gonna have to come by more often. And like he said, that seems super simple, right? He was talking about book drives. Like, I thought of that, yeah, but have you ever done one? Who have you donated a book to? What's the last book you read? Right? If I gifted you a book, would you read it? You know what I mean? So like he brought up some good stuff, expounding on what John M3 said. You know what I mean? We all were trying to take different angles. A lot of the stuff I agree with, but we weren't all trying to say the same thing. But even the cookout part, right? Y'all love cooking, right? Y'all love dancing, twerking, and doing all other types of dances. You know what I mean? That's all cool. Let's dance, twerk, read, eat, and build. You know what I mean? Because we doing it anyways, right? We out here dancing in clubs that we paid money for that we don't own. We can go dance at the park for free and donate money to each other. Look, I donate $10 to John. John donate $10 to M3. M3 somehow donate the $10 back to me. I give it to Mr. Best. It go back to John. Go to Lady. That's how group economics work. Instead, you get a 10 to Starbucks, 10 to Chinese food, 10 to burritos. I could cook burritos. I could cook orange chicken. You don't want to give the money to me, though. You want to give it to somebody else. You get the money to me so that I could buy some clothes from John. I buy some clothes from John so that John can buy a camera from M3. M3 got used the money and he go get his hair braided from some other chick. That's how group economics work. You feel me? We do a cookout. I bring all the food. John bring all the beers. M3 bring all of the charcoals. I mean, that's how we work together. You feel me? It can't be John bringing the charcoals, John bringing the drink, John bringing this. Come on, bro. We got to build each other up. If you ain't serious about that, we ain't the dudes to have this discussion with. The people that want to build and have an infrastructure and a foundation that's built upon like unity, kindness, success, and empathy. That's what we talking about here. If you ain't on that stuff, that's fine. I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. Just don't engage in conversations and seriousness and try to undermine what we actually are trying to do. And M3, man, this was a wonderful stream, bro. Shout out to Big Rig. He couldn't make it today. Mr. Best stopped by. Lady Sophia stopped by. E stopped by. John Sinatra stopped by. M3, you can go ahead and run the outro, and we are about to get out of here. This has been an amazing stream.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And salutes to everybody here in the chat, because y'all all stopped by to give us love and support. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank y'all so much. We're definitely going to have to talk about this more, Be Easy, especially like how we are patronizing the wrong ethnic groups. I think we need to talk about that like in the next live stream, if you're down for that. That could be a continuation.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So
yeah, I'm not waiting for 2 weeks for that.
Hey, you know, if you want to do it next week, man, you know, we could make it happen.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna rap with you, M3 and John. I'm gonna tap in because we need your insight. I would love from the brother E. I want to say his name properly because I try to say people's names properly. You know what I mean? Because it's a sign of respect. You feel me? You people are saying Tommy Hilfiger's name correctly. People are saying Calvin Klein's name correctly. Why wouldn't I say my bro's name correctly? Exactly. It's a sign of respect and endearment. He told me E was cool, so shout out to E. I would love for him to come back. Well Runs Black and Tina Tattles, y'all gonna have to come up. Y'all was very active in the chat. But yeah, I mean, we'll rock out with, 3, we'll rock out with 1. You know what I mean? As long as we got one knowledge and relationship family member and participant up here, it's going to be a substantive stream because we know that the chat never disappoints. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and close this one out. M3, I was pretty happy to do this kind of freestyle sporadic stuff. It started off with cereal. Then it went to C19. Then it went to crypto.
Hey, man, that's where it all starts, man. It starts off with a bowl of milk and whatever you pour out from that box, man. So, all right, everybody. But look, everybody, make sure y'all comment. This is the part right there. We're going to end this time, okay? After when the stream is over, flood this whole video with a bunch of comments, okay? A lot of them. Tina said she's already going to give me like 300 comments, so I'm looking to reply all 300 of them. So Be Easy, John Sinatra, anybody else, feel free to do so. But we are out, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Much love. Peace out to y'all. Outro.
Knowledge and relationships